Calendars. The Poker Atlas Tour is returning to Texas Card House Dallas and TCH Social Las Colinas from August 20th through September 3rd. Over $2 million in guarantees across 18 big events, including the $500,000 guaranteed Dallas Duel and the $1 million guaranteed title event. Mark your calendars now. For the full schedule, visit TexasCardHouse.com and the Poker Atlas app.
Welcome to Texas Card House RGV. As we get ready for tonight's stream, we have some 1-3 action starting off here. And we're going to be starting off six-handed. You can see the player stacks on the bottom. Goose in seat 3 buying in for 500. He's bought in for the most. New York Bob in seat 5. He's in for 400. Pedro, it's his first time on the stream. He's in for 300. And then we have Chubbs in for 300. So action will be under. No, I think there was a straddle because Goose is raising out of the big blind. Pocket threes for New York Bob. Freddie's in seat 9, so he put on the button straddle. Pedro with ace queen also just making the call. And looks like we're going 5 ways to the flop here.
Wow. Actually, I mean, I don't need to go anymore.
I wanted to go. I mean, take my wife, but I just sold her and paid $200.
Jack high flop. So El Gallo flopping the 5 and leading out. Pedro not done with his ace queen yet as he still has 2 overcards to the board. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. And we have almost a $200 pot on this first hand of 1-3. 7 coming on the turn. So seat 9, Fred floating on the flop. Now making the best hand with the 7. Let's see if he bets it. And 3 on the river, so New York Bob would have hit his set, but he folded. And looks like it's going to go check around, and Fred will win the first hand. As Fred there in seat 9 was actually one of the chip leaders coming into day 2 of the Valley Poker Open. Finishing 11th, just missing out on the final table was Fred. Taking home a couple of $1,000 for his efforts. Of course, first place winning $25,000. It was actually they got heads up and they actually chopped it, taking $16K each. But very good for a $200 entry. And I'm sure you saw the promo at the beginning of the video. Big tournament coming to the Dallas area. Poker Atlas Tour. Going to be hitting it there at the end of this month. $6 under the gun straddle announced. Goose with the 9 deuce of diamonds. He'll fold his button. Nobody with really anything to play here. Pedro halfway in, he has an ace, and he's going to bump it up to 20. Chubb's also with an ace.
First guy gets on base. Here comes the tour home run.
So Pedro turning a straight draw, as does Chubbs, both needing each other's cards to make the straight. And Chubbs will put out $30. Pedro's first time playing on the stream. Not sure if he's going to play extra cautious, but that appears to be the case as he will fold the best hand.
Just here on the side. That's Joe West.
No. No.
We are live on the YouTube chat. You can see the player stacks there on the bottom as Freddie, your early leader, went in the first pot for over $140. And Chubbs, who just won the last pot,
Oh, is he? He wears the same shit.
he's up for 21. But keep in mind, we've just seen 3 hands. We are playing short-handed tonight, so should see the players really opening up their range compared to the normal 9-handed. King 3 for Fred, and looks like he's just going to make the call. Goose with the 10-4 into the muck. New York Bob has diamonds, and he is going to make the call. Pedro raising with his King Jack of clubs, and Chubbs just making the call. So everybody's sharing each other's cards here, as Chubbs has Pedro dominated, and Pedro has Bob dominated, and Fred also has Bob dominated with the diamonds. Yeah, big flop for Pedro and Chubbs. Chubbs flopping top pair, Pedro flopping a flush draw. $48 in the pot, and Pedro's going to lead with his flush draw for 20. Chubbs just calling in position. Fred does have bottom pair, but he lets it go. And Bob with middle pair. He's going to make the call.
I said a 2-run home run was going to come in.
So just like that, pot over $100. And the 4 of diamonds helps nobody. Pedro does check his flush draw. Chubb's going to size up here, betting half pot. New York Bob with the 5s will finally let it go. And Pedro with the flush draw should be making the call.
Something like that, because you're calling the exact. I mean, it's desperate enough. It probably wouldn't even be up there because that's plus 10,000. We'll put $1.
Pedro does not want to hit a king, as it'll give Chubbs 2 pair. Pedro needs a club. And it'll be a brick, as there is a 4-liner. Any ace makes a straight. Any 6 makes a straight. Chubbs might check it back, worried about an ace, and that's exactly what he does. He goes check, check on the river. So 2-for-1 time is back here at the Texas Card House RGV every Wednesday and every Sunday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. So this stream started at 6 p.m. We're on a 15-minute delay. So you missed out on the free time, on the 2-for-1 time today, but we do run it back on Sunday. So between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., 2-for-1 time, you can buy up to $100, and anything you don't use will stay in your account. Looks like it's going to fold around to the blinds, and Chubbs will raise it up with the 8-7 of diamonds. El Gallo, Spanish for rooster. He comes along with the 5 high. Chubbs flopping a pair of 8s. It looks like El Gallo just immediately folded when he saw the ace.
You gotta leave it there, sir. Leave the button there. As per the orders. They said, don't touch the button. It's gonna mess up the action. Oh, the street button. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I touched the button. I moved it back.
All right. Hey to you, Mr. Hernandez.
No courtesy white.
I went over
So not sure if, yeah, the small blind folded. Okay, there's a button straddle. So $6 button straddle. Chubb's put into $6 on the small blind. New York Bob with the king 10 of spades. Looks like he's just gonna, no, he does raise. 26. Red does have the suited jack. Does he put another $20 in? He does not. So 2 for 1 time. We just wrapped up the Big Valley Poker Open on Monday night / Tuesday morning. And that stream is available on our main channel, TCH Live, all together, TCH Live. We are streaming tonight on our secondary channel, which is Texas Card House, 3 different words. But we just had a huge tournament ourselves down here, Valley Poker Open, and that stream is available on TCH Live, as Chubb's going to be raising the straddle, under the gun straddle from New York Bob. Chubb's makes it 28. Goose also with the suited ace. And Bob has a suited king. He's going to defend his straddle. So 3 ways to the flop we go. $85 in the middle. 1 player looking for spades, 1 player looking for diamonds, 1 player looking for hearts. And it's going to be hearts, as Bob does flop the best hand, bottom pair, with the 3. And Bob is now going to bet his 3. Goose should be making the call with his flush draw, and does. Ace or 9, there's the ace. And it'll go check, check. So $140 pot going Goose's way, as Bob's will flick his card into the muck. So Valley Poker Open just completed. Like I said, that's available on the main channel, TCH Live. This is the secondary channel. Make sure you subscribe here as well. Texas Card House, secondary channel. And the reason why is because there's 6 different Texas Card House locations located in the state of Texas. 4 of them do stream on YouTube, and they all stream at least 2 times a week. So there's just not enough days in the week for everybody to be able to stream on one channel. And then on top of that, a lot of these locations running big tournaments, so they want to have a channel available at all times. And that's why this secondary channel is set up. We do thank everybody who are joining us tonight, as Chubb's flopping a straight, and he's going to lead right out.
That's up to me to start the drink going.
So Chubb's hoping somebody has a king, queen, hearts, but that is not the case. So flopping the best hand and leading right out. Actually, don't think it is a terrible play, because anybody that had a king was going to call him. Anybody that had a flush draw was going to call him. But as you can see, that wasn't the case. So Chubb's will put on the straddle under the gun, as we have 2 players that are already up over $100. And obviously that means there's 2 players down over $100. So action will be on a Gallo. It's his first time playing on the stream. 9-7 of clubs. That's worth at least a limp, maybe a raise. And it's going to be a raise to 15. Oh, Goose with the kings. Probably about 50 50 is a good size, I think. And he's going to make it 45. Michael Jordan.
No, Bob's already for this round. That's why.
Of course, that was his number when he played baseball.
Gold or donor? Yeah.
So looks like the table ordering some drinks. Draft beer is $1, and looks like the draft beer's gonna be flowing. So 9-7 of clubs versus the Kings, and the Kings are gonna flop top set. Gut shot straight draw for El Gallo. Goose checking back. And now a spade coming, so he's picking up a spade draw, as he does have the king of spades.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to put out a small bet here, as he pretty much has the board covered. Has top set, has the flush draws, really not worried about anything. But El Gallo actually has something to hurt him with if a 10 comes. But he's going to make the fold, as the 10 will also make a straight for a queen.
Yeah, I don't drink wine, and I was dating, when I lived in Vegas, I was dating this woman who, the fucking wine bill was more than dinner.
So the poker pyramid is back for the PLO players. So normally there's no promotion for the PLO players. This month we do have a promotion. You can see, as I believe 2 hands have gotten hit. So if another 2 or 3 hands get hit, that'll knock off the $100, and then it'll bump up to $200. But there are 13 different quads available, plus the royal flush and the steel wheel.
Get a fucking glass of wine that costs more than a whole bottle.
Queen high flop, 2 hearts, as everybody misses.
This much wine, they give you that big wine glass, and you put like this much in it.
Board paired on the turn. This was a limped pot. You can see there's only $9 in the pot. And El Gallo is going to bet $5. So getting back to the PLO poker pyramid, also this pyramid is in play during the bomb pots. So every 30 minutes, the players are playing 1-3, no limit hold'em. They do play a PLO bomb pot. The pyramid is in effect for the top board only. The top board only. So some bonuses available this month to the PLO players. Some bonuses available this month for the bomb pot players. Quads are better. Must use both year hold cards. New York Bob bumping it up with the Jack 10. Chubbs calling out of the small blind with the 7s. Goose also making the call with the ace 9, and we are going 4 ways to a flop. And New York Bob going to be flopping top pair. Should be checking to him, and he's going to size it up here. Basically a pot size bet. There was $83 in the pot. He leads out for 80, and he has not won a hand tonight, so I think he's doing this just to get on the board. Chubbs does not think he would bet that big with top pair, so the bet size is throwing off Chubbs, and he is curious on why Bob made a pot size bet when it was checked to him in position. So he's going to make the curiosity call. And queen coming on the river. It's going to go check, check. And now New York Bob making 2 pair. And he's going to bet once again. $100. And Chubbs is very, very curious here. I think if the overcards did not show up, the queen or the jack, Chubbs would make this call. But I think he feels New York Bob hit one of those queens or jacks. He did hit the jack, but he actually did not need it. It's early on in the game here, so Chubbs might call just out of curiosity. But I think he's going to fold with those two overcards on there. And he does finally make the fold. And New York Bob shows.
No. No, I had 7.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I would have shown there because you can see how curious Chubbs was, but New York Bob decided to show, and Chubbs saying that he did have 7, so both players honest about their hands. It's $1 beer here every day at the Texas Card House. That's the draft beer, $1 draft beer. Button straddle once again for Chubbs, and the small blind, big blind will make the call.
What year was that? I'm trying to figure out how
19, I'm 60 right
I'm just trying to figure out if I've been drinking beer longer than
now. Oh, yeah. 21 years.
Okay, I've been drinking beer since 95.
Yeah, longer than that.
So we're going 5 ways to the flop, and New York Bob's going to hit top pair with a gut shot. El Gallo flopping bottom pair, and it's going to go check around here. Diamond on the turn, Chubbs with the diamond, so he has a straight draw and a flush draw. There's only $24 in the pot, and El Gallo's going to lead for 20. That's not going to get rid of New York Bob. Chubbs does make the fold. So El Gallo actually turned in 2 pair, I just realized that. And let's see how much he bets on the river here. Announcing 35. And I think New York Bob's going to call it off here.
I want to make sure I get my total value there.
So yes, he did bet 35 on the river, and New York Bob does have top pair. Probably hoping he should have bet the flop. Oh, he makes a good fold there. And El Gallo showing. So maybe these players made an agreement that if you do make a bet on the river, you have to show the winning hand. I know sometimes the players will agree to that. No small blind game tonight. Normally there's a small blind game in effect, but we've had a couple of players straddle. Looks like it's just going to be a normal 1-3 here. You can see the VPIP.
My first time was 30 years.
Action will be on New York Bob with the 3 deuce, the dirty diaper.
Bob, was it a lot different back then than now?
Twigs and dirt, seeds and shit.
Queen Jack for Pedro. Does he come in for a raise? He will just limp, and Chubbs will raise it with the 8. It's saying he's all in, but he is not all in. He raised it to 15. There you go. Fred Collin with the Queen Jack as well. So 2 players with Queen Jack. Chubbs in really good shape here. Over 60% equity right now as his opponents are sharing the outs. But the Queen still shows up. So quick fold by Chubbs. And Fred's going to come along, so as long as nothing crazy happens, these guys should be chopping the pot. A heart coming on the turn now. Does anybody have the Jack of Hearts? Nobody has the the Jack of Hearts. And Pedro's just going to go with it here. And Fred with the snap call. They're agreeing to run it twice, but they are kind of wasting time, to be honest with you, because they have the same hand. It's going to be a chop no matter how many times they run it. I might be in the minority here, but I feel like if you're running it twice, once you agree to run it twice, I think the players have to show their cards. And this is one of the reasons, because sometimes they have the same hand, and there's really no reason to run it twice. Or sometimes a player will be drawn dead, where somebody will have top set against bottom two or top set against two pair. So it really does waste time sometimes, which is why I think the players should have to show their cards if they agree to run it twice. Like I said, I'm probably in the minority, but keep in mind, there is no chips coming out of the pot. A normal casino, they do take chips out of the pot, they do rake. Everybody pays time separately here.
Have you seen the Houston games wherever he goes? Yeah. And they have a fucking horse in their small backyard? No, I haven't. It's a regular sized backyard, like a little fence, like half your, like up to your chest, a little steel fence, and there's a fucking horse back there.
Chubb's raising it up with the Queen 10. Fred, New York Bob, and Pedro calling.
Yeah, Josh is barbecuing in the back, using the horse back there. Eating the horse at the same time. Cheating on shit.
Ace-high flop. All diamonds. Nobody with diamonds in their hand. Fred will bet 15. So pretty small bet for Fred here, as he bets about a fourth of the pot. Kind of worried about diamonds. So he does have top pair, but he is worried about diamonds. And Chubbs is going to call him with the second pair here. Check, check on the turn. And Fred will make two pair. And Chubbs puts out a small blocker bet of $10. And Fred just makes the call.
She says my newborn daughter is allergic to milk. So we need fresh milk. So I'm feeding her goat milk. I said get rid of the She goes into the farm. She goes in, she brings the baby to the door to show me the baby.
So if you have not heard, the TCH Austin location, they are in the process of moving. Basically the same area, the next plaza over. But if you follow Texas Card House on social media, TCH Social coming soon to Austin. Straddle under the gun for 6. El Gallo just calling the 6. Kind of wanted to see a raise. As you can see, he's picking up callers from the button, the 5-6 offsuit, and New York Bob now making it 21. El Gallo still just calling, and that's going to bring in the 5-6. So the ace-8 of spades ahead right now. And still ahead as New York Bob hits a jack. $72 in the pot. And it's going to be less than half pot. Just over a quarter pot sized bet. New York Bob, I think, is getting the proper price to continue on with his second pair. And he agrees with me. So New York Bob looking for a king or a jack to come from behind. And it's going to be an 8. So now El Gallo with 2 pair. And he's double checking his cards, realizing he has 2 pair. There are 2 flush draws on the board. So now he's going to size it up. Betting 25 on the flop, probably go up to about 60 now. 55. And now New York Bob's done with the hand. High hands are back at the Texas Card House RGV Sundays and Mondays. $100 every hour with rollovers. There are 3 different qualifying times. 1 in the morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 1 in the afternoon from 4 p.m. to 8, and then 1 at night from 10 p.m. to 2 in the morning. All 3 time periods have their own rollover. So if nobody qualifies for the high hand after the hour, $100 is added to the pot. And then when the high hand finishes for the morning, that's going to roll over to the next day.
We're at Newport Beach, watching the sunset.
Fred with just the limp. And Goose is going to raise with the 6-4. I actually like this play. If you're going to play 6-4, you might as well raise with it. Oh, Bob with the suited connectors. He likes the suited connectors, and he will make the call. Pedro also with the 6-4, but he puts him in the muck. And Fred calls the extra $15.
More hits than anybody. All of a sudden, they're standing there talking. Like 10 minutes later, it starts to wobble, and he just fucking goes.
So Goose, the pre-flop raiser, hidden the 6, and he's going to bet $20. And that's going to get the job done. Like I said, I did like the raise with 6-4. Normally, aggression will be rewarded in this game. And you can see Goose being aggressive with the 6-4, raising, hitting a pair, making a bet, and getting both his opponents to fold.
But you try to smooth it like you used to, and it's like,
And he had like 2 or 3 beers with it.
Fred under the gun with the King-9, the dog, the K9. He just called with 9-8, so I expect him to call with the King-9, and he does just that. Goose with the Queen-10 just makes the call. Let's see if New York Bob bumps it up here with the suited ace. And no, just going to be making the call. Chubbs also makes the call with the Jack-6 of clubs. And El Gallo will check his option with the ace. So 5 ways to the flop we go, $15. Oh, and Bob flopping 2 pair. Chubbs flopping middle pair. And El Gallo flopping 1 pair, top pair, and he's going to lead for $10.
He doesn't remember like doing any action like hits.
Gut shot for Goose, and he will pay the $10 to hit it, or to try to hit it. Seems to be a very social game down there.
Hey, doing that tap and stuff like, hey, I don't do this. That's amazing.
And Bob's going to fill up as he will hit 3s full. And looks like he's going to put out a half pot-sized bet. Goose making a good fold, realizing that somebody could have a full house, and that's exactly the case here. So El Gallo playing the board right now with his ace. Aces and 3s with a jack kicker. And he's going to lead here. And New York Bob will raise. So $85 into the pot. He's betted just under half pot, $40. How big is Bob going to raise? Oh, it's a small raise. It's a small raise. Bob wants a call here, and I think he's going to get it. Yeah, I think he's going to call the extra 60, hoping that it's a chop pot here. You can see he's not happy about it, but I think he's going to call. Yeah, there's the call, and he's going to see the bad news.
was waiting for you to say that.
He thought he was out-kicked. He thought New York Bob had perhaps ace-jack, ace-king, ace-queen.
I said, hey, just tell Ash to work this shit.
Never saw that one. Smarter.
So normally we get about 90 hands during a stream. That's normally the over-under is 90. But since we are playing short-handed, I do expect to see more than 100 hands tonight. The players seem to have already settled in. Got into first two orbits out of the way. And ordered the drinks, so we should see them open up their ranges here, and that's normally the case for six-handed play. Blinds come around a lot faster. You have to play a lot more hands. Some hands that you won't necessarily play in a full ring game with 9 or 10 players at the table. Chubbs with the button straddle, he's been doing that the last couple of times. Goose just calling with the 5-6. New York Bob with the flat tire. That's what you use the jack for. And he's going to be making the fold. Chubbs will check his option with the 52. So Fred will flop top pair and lead out, as both players will call. Chubbs on a straight draw. And the board pairs. Fred betting 10 once again. And Goose cannot resist. And Chubbs comes along as well. So Fred making 3 pair on the river. And now he bumps it up to 15. 9s and 8s with a 6 kicker. And that's probably going to get everybody to fold. Oh, no, Chubbs making a move here. So Chubbs with the bluff as Fred bet the flop. Oh, Fred folds. Oh, and Chubbs does show the bluff. I like it. Looks like we got a new player on our stream here. Looks like it's going to be Nick coming in on the big blind. So Fred finishing 11th in the Valley Poker Open. Nick finishing 12th. So both these players making a run on Monday. And we have a straddle on under the gun. Goose with the straddle, duck, duck, goose. New York Bob with the 5s. Does he raise the straddle or just call? He's going to be raising the straddle. It's a $7 straddle, and it looks like he's going to make it 25. Chubbs with the ace-queen. So the table has agreed to a round of shots. Queen 8 of hearts for Fred. Just got bluffed last hand by Chubbs. And Chubbs is in this hand, so let's see if Fred's able to get revenge. He's in bad shape right now as Chubbs has him dominated. And he's going to hit the 8. He's come from behind. And he's going to lead right out here. $85 in the pot. Going to be betting just under half pot. Looks like the Cajun Asian blocking the camera there. And looks like the Cajun Asian's going to take one of the available seats. So $35 bet. And I don't think Chubbs is going to fight for this, as he did just bluff Fred last hand. So we go from 6-handed to 8-handed as we have the Cajun Asian taking seat 4.
So what's the deal when you get it upside down?
No, you know what? I was a kid. Isn't that a bad thing?
You can see the VPIP there. Pretty high percentages, and the reason for that is the ranges do open up short-handed, but now we are 8-handed.
Bring Lupin too. Watch me play for 32 seconds.
Lucas said it was too cold. He's gonna get up $200 a league.
That's what I'm trying to. Oh, I thought you were talking.
32 seconds.
So Chubb's raising to 15. Card reader a little bit behind. So all 3 players in a row there finding some success in the Valley Poker Open. Seat 1, Nick, finishing in 12th. Then Fred finishing in 11th. There were 40 players that came back for day 2. And even the dealer, Kenny, he managed to find 2 bags and got a $1,500 bonus for having the second bag. And he also had a cash as well. Chubbs with the 5-3. Nick's not going to let suited ace. And action will be on Nick, and he's going to flop an ace. Chubb's flopping a gut shot. Let's see if he continues, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Puts out, looks like 17, no, 22. Emmett Smith, former Arizona Cardinal. That's right, look it up, kids. Emmett Smith actually played for the Cardinals after he left the Cowboys. Obviously, he's known as Cowboys, but he does look very strange in the Cardinals uniform. This is coming from a kid that grew up in the 90s, so obviously when the Cowboys were making their run, everybody an Emmett Smith fan, and he left the Cowboys and played for the Cardinals. Oh, Chubb's the second time. He is bluffing tonight, and I don't know if this bluff's going to work, as Nick does have an ace, but he just sat down. So sometimes players play a little bit looser when they first sit down. Sometimes they play a little bit tighter. Nick does not want to fold his ace just yet, as Chubbs is going to be looking for a 4 on the river. I think whatever comes on the river, Chubbs is going to bet big here. Chubbs might even go all in. Nick's going to check, and I think Chubbs is just going to go all in, as that's his plan. There it is. He announces all in. He's going for it. He knows Nick just sat down, and normally players don't like to have to rebuy after a couple of hands, so he's putting Nick to the test here with 5 high. He missed his straight draw. Doesn't feel like Nick has a strong hand, and Nick only has 1 pair. It is top pair, but he only has an 8 kicker. So let's see if Nick figures this out. Nick is asking for a count, and that's something you never want to hear when you are bluffing. It's not worse than the 1-chip call. Whenever you're bluffing and they just do the 1-chip call. Nick is really thinking about this. I think if he would have seen Chubb show the bluff earlier, he might be calling here. But he's seeing how much is going to be left in his stack. It's 190, so he'll have about over 150 left in his stack. It's going to work. Does Chubb show it? No, he doesn't show it. Does he show it? He shows 1 card?
No, not that one, that one. Hey, no, he's showing it.
He shows 1 card, and Nick's going to know that he got bluffed.
You said you weren't.
He's using his table and his speed.
Georgie, I was going to say, I'll take the unders.
So Chubb's going for it. Easier said than done.
Yeah, I know. That's
So actually we had 5 players win the most entries, as there was a bonus for the top 3 players that bagged and the top 5 players that bagged. So we had 5 players win that bonus. So I'm thinking that Chubbs is setting up his image to get paid off on a big hand later on. Pocket 8s for El Gallo. He's coming in for the raise. Suited connectors for Fred. Suited connectors for Goose. Little surprise he folded. And the Cajun Asian with the 9 deuce of diamonds. He does not want to hit diamonds, as Fred has better diamonds. Everybody with a diamond in their hand, as El Gallo also has a diamond, the 8 of diamonds. And Fred might be able to bluff here. No, El Gallo's going to lead out. He's not scared of the ace. And this is going to work, as Fred just has 10 high. Cajun Asian with just 9 high. So they're the big winners so far, as Fred out in front. Chubbs also up over $100, and New York Bob and Goose up $50.
I paid it one time. Me and Rocky had 8 reservations. And I bought it in max at $20. I had like 7 I run it up. I found a table. They think they paid out 3 or 4. We were 6 hands. We did the math, and I think we all got like $400. Well, I was in for 20. I was like, hey, y'all want to chop? I said in the beginning just joking, and then somebody busted, and we got like 600. And I'm like, hey,
Ace 5 for El Gallo, making it 12. Nick with the suit at 9.
yeah, bro, yeah.
And the Cajun Asian calling with the king. I think Bob's going to defend his big blind. And we are going 4 ways to a flop of $48. All hearts. And I think El Gallo had hearts. So El Gallo flopping the nuts. And now he checks the nuts and lets somebody catch up. And somebody just caught up, as Nick has trips. El Gallo checks again. So Nick puts out 25. Does the Cajun Asian make the call? The Cajun Asian making the call with the king of hearts. He is drawn dead. And I think El Gallo's going to raise here just because it is now 3 ways. If it was heads up, he would just call. But he's still making the call. Nick looking for a 9 or an 8. And he's going to brick off. So El Gallo finally going to bet at it. And I think Nick's going to call him with the trip, says he's going to be very shocked that anybody has a flush here. There is a straight, but he is blocking the straight. The Jack-9 is blocking the straight. And yes, he does make the call. And if Nick didn't call, the Cajun Asian was calling as he hit a king on the river. And you can't be known as the Cajun Asian if you don't sport the LSU gear. You can see the Tigers cap. And Nick gonna see the ace-high flush, and pretty much the whole table a little shocked.
There's a pair out there, Tom. 3 pairs?
50 bet was a please call me.
Hey, I promise you, if we get his ass. Hey, if we get his ass.
So we still have one seat open on the stream.
Hey, if we get his ass stuck, he won't work.
How? How is that possible? You're just gonna not show up to your shift when you're already here? When you're already here?
And Chubbs has been straddling a lot. There is $1 in front of him. I don't know if there's a $5 chip under there.
Take my fucking point.
And yes, it is a $6 under the gun straddle. Very lively table tonight.
I can. Because day 2 is my daughter has a pageant on 30 minutes in.
Fred making the call. Nick should be raising here. And looks like 25. 20. That's going to get a call at least from New York Bob. He does have a suited ace. All three players with aces. And each player has the other one out-kicked. Ace-10 versus Ace-Jack versus Ace-Queen. We haven't seen Fred's cards yet. It'll be kind of crazy if he has Ace-King. No, he does not, as everyone will fold. New York Bob does put out the 3-bet here. That's going to get a fold from Fred. And Nick will call in position. Heads up we go, $145 pot. This is Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, RGV. And New York Bob out flopping Nick here as he does hit the top pair. And he's going to continue on here. A little bit of a small bet as he kind of does want to call with the top pair. He bets a third of the pot, and Nick will oblige. So Nick looking for a queen. Oh, Nick gets the queen. And New York Bob's going to go all in. Nick's going to call him. I mean, Nick called the flop to hit an ace or queen. There's the call, and New York Bob is not going to be happy when he sees the queen. So real interesting hand there as Bob getting really lucky on the flop. The ace-jack versus the ace-queen. He flopped the jack. He bet 50. And then Nick returning the favor and hitting his 3-outer on the turn. As only the queen would have helped him, the ace would have given New York Bob 2 pair. And looks like New York Bob going to put out the button straddle.
Hear about the progressive stand-up game? Every hand you win, but instead of them taking a button away, you get a button when you win it. And now every hand you win after that, you get a button, and whoever loses the game has to pay for every button on the table. I'm out. That's the progressive stand-up.
So the $10 button straddle action is on Chubbs.
Like $1,000 a button. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, you can get 3 or 4 buttons before someone.
Bet. I was about to say, I don't seat open in the live stream. There's a seat open.
Oh, the Cajun Asian with the jacks should be making it at least 50. And it looks like 60. So 50 more.
I know, he may not show. He will fucking die. He will die before he shows up? Yeah.
So $10 straddle. El Gallo calling the 10. Fred calling the 10. Cajun Asian making it 60. And he will pick up the win. That's a $34 profit.
Hey, you almost made it. Hey, no, hey, nothing like that.
So the small blind game, you put $5 on the button when you're.
So it looks like now that the table is starting to fill up, it looks like now they're going to play the small blind game. They're just trying to get the players to agree to it. I believe everybody's familiar with it with the exception of Seat 6, Pedro. It's his first time on the stream.
We played it. I think we've gone up to 130, 140. Well, we top it up if you win. You guys want to do it?
So action will be on Fred.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. That doesn't matter.
Put it. $5 bucks.
Is that me?
You don't want to do it?
So Fred raising with the ace 10 to $10. Nick folding the AC deucey, Goose, Queen 9 suited. New York Bob is going to be raising here. King, Queen suited. Looks like a $30 raise, and that's not going to clear out any of these players, as the big blind's probably going to be making this call as well. So we will be going 4 ways to the flop, over $120, 121. The pocket 8's out in front right now. They do need to dodge an ace, a king, a queen, and a 10. So you're telling me there's a chance. Oh, top 2 pair for New York Bob. Gut shot for Fred. And middle pair for Goose. And Goose is going to bet his middle pair here. And Bob doesn't have much chips behind. He should probably just be going all in here based upon his stack size, and he figured that out. He was just going to call, but he realized he has so few chips behind that he might as well just go all in, and that's what he does. There is a flush draw on the board, a straight draw on the board, so might as well get it all in when you're pretty sure you have the best hand. Goose is actually, it says it's 0%, but running nines will get the win for Goose, and there it is, 2%. They're running it twice. Goose is at 2%. So that's not it. Oh no, they just ran it once. Either way, Goose was going to have to get very, very lucky, and that was not the case. So give the double up to New York Bob as he doubled up Nick early on. So high hands are back once again, Sunday and Monday. Doors open at 9 a.m. every day here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Hashtag RGV, hashtag 956. Button straddle announced, so Chubbs put it on the 6 as he stepped out of the room real quick to check his phone, but he'll be back when the action is on him. So action will be on seat 8. El Gallo, Jack 6. Into the muck. Fred needing another $3 to complete. And now Nick is going to raise it up. Looks like a small raise, though. It's at 20. It's not even 20. It's only 18. And it looks like Goose is thinking about calling with the 6-10. No, Goose does fold. A7 for New York Bob. Just won the last 10. And Chubbs will defend his straddle. And Fred makes the call. So 4 ways to the flop we go. All right, just making sure that all the cards scan properly. You can see there's a circle that kind of looks like a bullseye in front of each player, and that is where the card reader is. These are special cards. They do have chips in them, RFID chips,
Oh yeah.
and the dealer will pitch the cards
And they tilt it.
on top of those circles for the cards to read. And sometimes they don't read properly and have to wait for it to catch up, and that's what happened there, as the flop will come king, jack, jack. This is probably going to check to Chubbs, and no, right as I say that, Fred leads out for 20 with 8-5.
With no phone, you're not gonna get booted. Oh, you're gonna get booted. Yes. Why you?
Come on, Robert. Be fun. Yeah, Robert, get into it, man. You can put all the crumbs you want on the food. Look at the strip. Come on, Rob. That's amazing.
So I think Fred's cards read properly,
You can play both. Rob, I'll buy you your first Snickers.
but he is going to continue on here. Might get Chubbs to fold. Let's see if Fred shows the 8-5. Boom, chakalaka.
We all around when Rob used to have a little poker.
So Chubbs bluffing Fred earlier. Fred returning the favor. I thought that the card reader might have read it wrong, but you can see the card reader is true tonight.
They got robbed. That's what Spider-Man got doing, right?
I don't know. I just play off to her.
So still one seat open.
I think that's where Spider-Man got his name from. Right there on the wall.
Whoa.
Oh, double straddle. Goose put it on 6 under the gun. Cajun Asian making it 12. And he's got a hand, ace-jack, double straddle. The double straddle is live. At most casinos, a double straddle is considered a dead raise. And looks like we have that final seat getting filled.
What's gonna have to work?
I'm on call, but I have time. Yeah, I just got out of it. Everybody doing okay, guys?
So the jack 9 of Chubbs, he just got bluffed. And he is raising it up, trying to make back the chips Fred took from him.
And a water?
And Fred's calling with the 7-6 of diamonds. I like the hand. I don't like his position, as he is calling out of the small blind. Nick with the suited 7 deuce.
So these cards, they have a chip inside, so they need to be scanned on top of this on your slot. So
Oh, Nick is raising it up with the 7 deuce. 100% bluff here, and this should get through.
Yeah, it's on.
And right as I say that, I remember that the Cajun Asian had ace jack, and you can see him pretty much staring down Nick,
Don't worry, I pulled them out.
thinking to himself, really, bro? This is a super strong move by Nick. Normally, you do not see 3 bets in 1-3 games, and sometimes not even in 2-5 games, but this is a 3 bet out of the blind. And the Cajun Asian's going to make the fold. Let's see if Nick shows it. Come on, Nick, show the hand. Is he going to show it? He's making sure everybody folded, and boom. I like it. Like I said, we started 6-handed, and the first couple of orbits, the players were playing a little bit slow, but then they ordered the drink. And now the game is really opening up, as we now have a full table, and we have so let's see. C2 is going to be Yvette, and it is 7:26 here, Texas time. We are on a 15-minute delay, so this taking place 15 minutes ago here at the Texas Card House. I am in the same building, a different room. The stream room is in one area. I'm in a different room. And I know this is Pedro's first time on the stream, and I think this is Yvette's first time, but you can see she just got out of work. She's still in her scrubs. Oh, Nick just pulling a move with the queens, and now, I'm sorry, Nick just pulling a move with the 7 deuce, and now he gets the queens. So obviously everybody's going to call him, knowing that he could be up to something no good, but this time he has the goods. Yvette's going to call him with the ace 3 of hearts, Cajun Asian even calling him with the 3 deuce. Cajun Asian wants his revenge immediately. And we're going to have a $106 pot here, as action will be on Nick. And it's going to come Jack, Jack 9. That is a clean board for Nick. Let's see if he puts out about 50. The action is on Nick. Oh, he's going to check. And it's going to check behind. And there's the ace. So Yvette coming from behind. And Nick has to check again. And now a king coming. So both the ace and the king coming. Nick knows that somebody has one of those cards, if not the jack. And he's not putting any more money into this pot. New York Bob did hit a king, and the action checked when the ace came. And I think New York Bob might be curious, but I think 75 is too much for him to call here. I'm not sure if he's played with Yvette before. I'm not sure if I played with her before either, but he's going to give her the respect. And he's going to show the queens this time, and let's see if she shows. And she does show.
Hey, you see, she plays ace three of hearts, John. You want to be a John? She plays ace three of hearts.
Double straddle on.
There's enough bluffing going on.
So as I said, this stream did start 6-handed. It started a little bit slow, but now we're the opposite. This game speeding up, full table, double straddles, drinks are flowing, dollar beers, shots for the table, and we are on hand 28. 1-3 no limit, Texas Hold'em, Texas Card House, RGV. We are located in South Texas, 3 hours south of San Antonio.
Yeah, right. Bob wants to do the progressive.
Pocket fives for Chubbs, and he just makes the call. Doesn't want to get re-raised. Wants to go set mining. And Fred will make the call. Nick's probably going to be folding here. So the original big blind, the actual big blind, Goose, 7-6 offsuit will make the fold. The straddler makes the call, and New York Bob with an ace is going to be checking his option. So you can see $52 as it is 4 ways. 2 players with aces, 1 player with a pocket pair. And it's going to come Jack, 6-3, 2 hearts. Chubbs might bet here. And no, it's going to be Fred. Fred with the small bet. $15 into 52. And it looks like we have a dealer change coming up. Chubb's not done with this hand yet. Does have straight draw possibilities, flush draw possibilities. Fred now picking up a straight draw. Check, check. 4 of hearts coming on the river. Check, check once again. And Chubbs will show the 5s. And he will take the pot. And after 1 hour of play, Fred up $130. Nick up $126. Chubbs up $94. Yvette, brand new to the stream. She's up $80. And El Gallo basically breaking even. All right, dealer change, as we do have Ash Cash coming into the box. And looks like we have an under the gun straddle. No, it's a button straddle. Yeah. So there is a priority for under the gun. And New York Bob, I believe $10 is announced. So here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, you're able to straddle up to half your stack. The minimum is $6. The minimum is $6. The maximum is half your stack. Bob decides on the $10 under the gun straddle. And Fred is going to call with the 8-3 of diamonds. 8-3 of diamonds. Nice hand to double down on blackjack. Not so nice at the poker table. And Goose is going to punish the limper.
Goose is on the loose.
Ace 10 for Goose. As Goose also rocking a collegiate cap.
Oh, I didn't know you had cards. My bad.
Oh, Fred is calling. And the reason why he's calling is he does have history with Goose. Goose is going to flop the ace right away. And he's going to bet tiny, just 10. And Fred's going to call, looking for a 10 for a straight draw. And there's the 10. Goose hitting 2 pair. So this might get a spicy on the river. Looking for a jack or a 6 is Fred. And it's going to be a 7. So Goose will put out another small bet, I think. No, he checks. Hoping Fred bluffs. And Fred can only win this hand by bluffing. But that's not going to do the trick. Goose is going to snap call him. And have some choice words for him. Goose is making Fred show his hand. Goose is making Fred show his hand. Like I said, they have history. It is fun history. They are friends. And they were just trying to one-up each other. And let's see if there is a button straddle here.
We're still talking over there? What's going on?
No, he was judging me last time, remember?
That's it.
More than what you gave her last time. Oh, no.
So no straddle this hand, a little surprised.
What? 6. Last time you went ahead. Can I still do it? Is it still live? Go.
And right as I say that, Goose will put out the $6. Bob calling the extra $3 with a suited king, and Chubbs raising to 25 with his suited ace. El Gallo also with the suited ace. If you haven't figured it out, people here in the Rio Grande Valley love to play the suited cards. Nick with the pocket 5s will make the call. Yvette with the king 10. Looks like she's also going to make the call. She does have the 25 cut out. Is she going to raise? She raises it another 25. To be honest with you, I really don't understand this raise. I don't mind the raise, but the sizing is way too small, as Chubbs made it 25, and basically everybody called Chubbs as 25. So nobody is folding for this extra 25. The only good thing about this raise is she will have position on everybody now. She does have position on everybody. And you can see this is a $300 pot now. And most of these people bought in for $300. Oh, there's the 5 for Nick. Yvette hits the 10. So she's going to get in trouble here, as the action's probably going to check to her. She did put out a 3-bet here, and it was on the small side, but I don't see how she can check the flop when she raised with the king 10 and she hits top pair. And like I said, it's going to check to her, I would imagine. Maybe if she had the king of spades, she want to check. No, Nick is leading right out, worried about perhaps a flush draw. I don't see how Yvette gets away from this. She's not drawn dead. She could go runner, runner, king 10, but she is drawn thin, and a king has been folded. So she's going to need a king or a 10 here. Oh, she gets the king. The flush draw does come in. Let's see if it slows down Nick. I think that's why he bet the flop here, because he was worried about the flush draw. And now the flush draw got there. And you can see Yvette looks really comfortable. She loves her hand, but she doesn't realize that she's actually behind. She thinks the king has improved her hand, which it has, but she really thinks she has the best hand once she hit the king.
Yeah, I was looking dead. You just have a chance.
$500 in the pot, and Nick's just going to go all in. Yvette with the snap call. And let's see if they run it once or twice. Yvette needs a king or a 10. King or a 10 for Yvette, and it's a 4. So she will have to rebuy if she wants to continue on. And like I said, she really thought she had the best hand after she hit the king. They're going to do the countdown, but Nick clearly has her covered. So let's see if she rebuys. I believe she's going to rebuy. So the stream regular, Phony Ferguson, not to be confused with Tony Ferguson, but we do appreciate the follow. So this is the secondary channel, Texas Card House, and he did follow, so we do appreciate the follow. Run it once like a boss. I'm a fan of run it once. I know people have different feelings about it, but I do like running it once. So Yvette with the rebuy. All right, so they're just getting all of the stats corrected as Yvette is rebuying. So something a little bit different on the live stream table. Oh, there are the kings for Pedro. Is that 35? It's 35, so let's see if he gets any action. There was a $7 button straddle. Oh, Bob's calling out a turn here. Losing customers, Bob, losing customers. So Yvette did announce she is coming back. Cajun Asian calling with the aces. Bob also calling with the ace. So normally when you have kings, you're worried about the ace, and both his opponents have an ace, and they hit the ace. He does have the king of diamonds. So good news, bad news.
The longer you thought, the more I thought you were going to call.
I was about to flip it in, bro, with like queen.
I thought eventually you were going to call.
Looks like it's going to go check around.
And I thought you were going to go like this.
And there's the king. Let's see if he checks again. No, he's just going to go all in. $92. And somebody, one of these players make a curiosity call. I don't think the Cajun Asian will. Oh, so Bob bet in the turn. I missed Bob's bet on the turn. Bob bet 50 on the turn. Cajun Asian can't call here. I didn't think he was calling before I saw the $50 bet, and I know he's not calling now. And New York Bob's going to have to make the call, and he is drawn dead. D-E-D, dead. Running it one time doesn't matter. You're drawn dead. We can run it 100 times.
No. Oh, fuck, I got his ass.
And the Cajun Asian actually had a 3, so the Cajun Asian would have hit a straight, and he's letting the table know. And New York Bob looks really dejected right now.
You asked for 8. What would you bet?
I had ace 3. That's not fair.
No, I'm good. Fernando, thank you.
That was it, George.
Now he's on tilt for sure. Yeah,
Yes, and you are correct.
open shift. 845.
Oh,
Yeah, BB.
Release the
there we go.
Hoping for a change.
So I actually did not see that, and that's why he was thinking about calling. But once Bob bet and then Pedro went all in, even with a gut shot, I don't think it's a good call there.
You know, you're calling a flop anyway. Yeah, but not flush draw.
It wasn't $40 more for him. New York Bob bet 50, and then Pedro raised it to 92, so it was actually $90 for the Cajun Nation. New York Bob is the one to bet the 50. If it was $40, I do agree with you. If it was $40 more, but it was actually $92. Okay, Cajun Asian with the jacks, and he's just going to go all in here. New York Bob with the pocket pair. He's going to make the call with the ducks. Oh, and Fred with the suited kings.
I'm in last place, but for sure I want to call you.
All right, so we have a three-way all-in, and we are going once. One time, you can only get lucky once. Bob having to get really lucky here as a two-outer. And Fred calling with the king-queen suited with the two overcards.
Oh my God, we need John. I love you, bro. The game would be funny if you stayed. The game would be funny if you stayed.
I know, but I can't.
And there's the king.
Why can't you stay?
So Fred coming from behind. Needs a jack. Oh, there's the jack for the Cajun Asian.
Bo.
So Cajun Asian, LSU hat. Goose next to him. The V with the star, that's the local university, a branch of the University of Texas, UT RGV. The Vaqueros, V's up.
We said no.
You're not leaving, are you?
Dude, that looked like a movie scene, bro. Bro, his head is right behind your head, and he comes up to the side. You're not leaving.
Like in the scene.
Can you
Yeah, I'm trying to act like we're in the
So Comet's pretty active here. I didn't think that photo would show, but Iron Trees with a little GIF, but I'm not able to show that in the comments.
You're right behind him, and I couldn't see you. And your back is to the side. You're not
New York Bob with the rebuy, so we've had two players having to rebuy already.
What the fuck did we get ice cream?
But they dropped me off at my house.
Oh, okay.
But I was.
Yeah, we flew into Tuscaloosa. Or not Tuscaloosa.
Yes, I have went to
Birmingham.
$15 raise for Fred. Just took the hit with the king, queen of diamonds. He bets back.
Put that for the deal.
Because if you don't let them know, then because they're never bet that you and those guys.
Oh, I know.
Damn it, boy.
Goose with the 10-7 of spades makes the fold. I thought he might call. New York Bob back in for 400.
70.
And Chubb's going to be bumping it up to 70 with the ace, queen of diamonds. And Fred is the short stack. He's going to go all in, and he's going to have to get lucky. He's going to need a 4 for the win. Excuse me, a 3 for the win. It was New York Bob with the ace-4.
Hey. King 3 or what? Run it, you said.
Where's that? Oh, it's break.
There's the ace. Is it all clubs? Oh, Fred needs a club now.
Oh my God, high-handed.
There's Fred with the club. So Fred coming from behind with the double up. Doubling up with the ace three, the Baskin Robbins hand, 31 flavors.
What's going on?
3-1.
Is there a tournament clock? Cash game clock?
Nice answer. You played it.
All right, let's see this stat here.
Beautiful.
Raise first in.
Like the chef's
Nick in at 50%, and that's what happens when you raise with a 7 deuce. As Nick took the 7 deuce earlier and bluffed with it, got the bluff through.
Damn!
So the stat from Yvette is actually wrong. I think she did raise, but I think what happened was, since she stepped away from the table, her name came off the graphic. I think that's what happened.
They're checking the internet right now.
Huh?
They're checking YouTube.
Yeah, they want to see what happens. All right, live straddles out. Nobody wants to play pool.
I believe Chubb's added on. Yes, I do believe Chubb's added on. There were no green chips. Now he has green chips. It is a $300 minimum match the stack game. And once Nick won that big pot with the set of fives, Chubb's matched his stack. Ace King for Chubbs was at the Ace Queen, and that did not win. Now he's going to try to win with the Ace King. Might call. If he was in position, I could see a call, but he's going to be out of position. Is Nick calling with the 3 deuce? Okay, so now Goose is coming in. So Ace King versus Queen 10 versus 3 deuce. And nobody hits anything. It is the 956 flop. That's the local area code down here. 956 956. The board pairing once again. And it's going to go check around. And Chubb's going to hit his ace on the river. He's definitely going to bet it, and it's definitely going to look suspicious. I think he's going to bet big here. 200 in the pot. I think he's going to bet 200. No, he bets 80. And nobody has anything to call with. So it is Pedro's first time playing on the stream, and it seems like he has a lot of his friends and family watching, cheering him on.
My heart went out to him.
Remember, we are live on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, when you got it, you got it.
He was going for the goal.
Looks like we have a $7 button straddle.
We didn't show it down, but nobody saw how it was played out. I think we went all the way to the room. I just ended up, I came back and I looked down, I'm like, oh shit.
So Fred taking a break. Folded to 10-6. Nick's probably just going to call here. It's another $4 for him to call. $7 button straddle. Yvette with the Queen Jack also making the call. Cajun Asian with the King Queen. He will raise. Looks like 25. It's 30. Chubbs with the Ace Jack. Just calls. His third straight hand picking up a big ace. Ace Queen, Ace Queen, Ace Queen, Ace King, Ace Jack. And you can see Yvette's in bad shape here as she is dominated by 2 hands. Her Queen is outkicked, her Jack is outkicked. And it's going to come 5-3-3. Nobody hitting anything. Usually it's the first player who bluffs at this is going to win. And the Cajun Asian with a $3 bet. Don't understand this play.
Goose, I'm okay. Sorry, I look dead.
Goose, hey, one more out, bro. You'll be 25, bro.
You never. Whoa.
3 coming on the turn. And the Cajun Asian going to continue here. This might work. Oh, this worked. So very unconventional play, as there was over $300 in the pot. Excuse me, over $100 in the pot. Cajun Asian betting $3 on the flop. Nobody raised him, so he figured nobody had anything, and then he sized it up to 25 on the turn. So he did raise pre-flop to 30, so there was 120 in there. He bet $3 into 120. Nobody raised him. He figured nobody had a piece of the flop, so he sized it up on the turn and took it down.
What if I would? I'll play 2. Never trust a guy that has.
So it looks like got somebody watching from Corpus.
Upside down on his cap.
That's a big cap.
Oh my god, I just realized.
Yeah. No, when you get it from the blue now,
Yeah, so Corpus about 2 hours north of us, basically between here and San Antonio, but on the coast. The coastal Bend area, Corpus Christi.
I don't know why they do it.
hey,
What does that mean when it's upside down? Honestly, someone's dead.
So heads up we go.
Yes, around that.
7-6 deuce. Fred hitting a 6, and he will bet. So Fred straddled his button and now hits a pair. Let's see what Pedro does.
We all need to belong somewhere, even if it's in a museum.
This is for,
But I love Ellis.
you're about to
I'm a Tiger fan.
And Pedro does make the fold.
Oh, it's that Chris.
That's messed up, Bob.
Yeah, so Chubb's definitely added on because he's only up $78. He bought him for $300, and then once Nick got his stack up to over $1,000, Chubb's decided to match his stack. This is a match stack game. You can see Nick is the big winner tonight so far with the Cajun Asian behind. Chubb's up a little bit. Everybody else in the negative.
LSU, yeah, never secret handshake.
Under the gun straddle from the Cajun Asian. Making sure the cards get scanned properly. New York Bob with the ace queen. He makes it 25. Nobody with anything to call him with. Looks like Fred does have calling chips in his hand, and he will call with the Jack 9.
Remember, we're live streaming apparently.
So $25, Yvette with the ace 10. She's probably going to call. She will be out of position, though. Oh, Goose with the jacks. Might see a clash between him and New York Bob here.
No, on the phone.
So going from 20 to 120? What's the raise to? Raise to 110. Bob might 4-bet just to get it all in here just because there's players behind him. It's a little awkward here as he just makes the call. If he just makes the call, it's going to probably bring along at least one of these other players. So Bob makes it 20, picks up 2 callers, and yeah, he's going with it. He did announce all in. So like I said, it was a weird spot for Bob, as if it was heads up, he would have just called. But with the 2 players behind him, he wanted to get heads up, and that's why he's moving all in here. Goose should be calling, and Yvette should be folding. She does have an ace, but as you can see, it is no good. Let's see if she's able to make the fold.
You have 42? That's 42?
I think she's going to fold.
I got drink that shit. I'll take just a
She's sad now, but she'll be happy once she sees the cards she's up against. And Goose will make the call, and we will be racing. Ace Queen versus Jacks. The Jacks out in front right now, 57% of the time. Oh, Queen right on the flop. The Ace Queen coming from behind. So Goose is going to be left with $29. He's probably going to add on a rebuy.
Barrels, table 9.
Wow, big hands. We're in trouble now, boys.
When I'm not losing.
We're in trouble now, boys.
I'm like a beaver. I need a sweat here.
No, it's not that. I just put a circle on the floor.
I'm over here. What are we going to play?
I think if the ace-10 was even suited, you have to fold there just because of the action that's in front of you.
This is going to go under 7.
But obviously, a lot easier when it's not suited. It's actually only it improves your hand. It seems like it improves it more, but it only improves your hand by less than 3% if you have a suited ace-10 or any suited ace versus a non-suited ace. And Goose is rebuying, so the third rebuy of the night. And Goose will have ace-3 of clubs jumping right back in. Cajun Asian also with clubs.
I hope so, because
I'm trying to remember. I want more women to play.
They say a camera puts 10 pounds.
No, but it's AI now, so they should partner make us perfect.
We said no.
You said no, dog.
So it's better to get to know that you have to leave and you still sit in the
There was a Friends episode.
John, I said no for sure.
What's wrong?
I just hit it and quit it real quick. Not the word.
Yeah, it's not polite, John.
You want to cuddle with it?
We don't call for each other.
So the Cajun Asian is a part-time dealer here at the Texas Card House, and I think he's on tonight's schedule. So I don't know how busy they are on the main floor, as I am in a back area in a room all by myself. Chubb's raising with the ace-3, and he is picking up calls.
A woman just hurt. Now he's actually sexier.
They are definitely being very social tonight. You always want to play a table where there is interaction. I know a lot of times, especially when you go to Las Vegas, you have tables that are dead silence. And to me, poker is a social game. One of the reasons you play is to socialize. And all of these players are here definitely to socialize. So a gut shot for Goose is going to be calling the bet of Chubbs. He is out in front with the ace high.
Intermittent promotion time, $1 an hour. You don't smell bad, it's like a tiger upside down.
And there's the ace.
I would buy nothing from that guy.
And he's going to hit it straight. So he hits the ace, and he hits the straight. He gets there twice. So Goose, who just took the big hit with the jacks, will make a little back. Looks like we have an under the gun straddle coming from Pedro, and then Chubbs will put on the double straddle. Oh, we have a triple straddle?
We got the 48 on.
I don't think Fred can do the quadruple straddle. He doesn't have enough chips. And looks like they're giving Fred some chips to do the quadruple straddle. I've never seen this on the stream before. 4 straddles, 5 straddles, folks. 5 straddles of $96 out there. This is a 1-3 game that is off the rails. I have definitely never seen 5 straddles on a stream. Make sure you hit that like button, folks. 5 straddles. 1, 2, 3, 4.
These are all straddles, so action's on you now.
So it is $96 to come in.
Hey, there's no Fred on the.
Where's that guy?
So 6-8 for Yvette.
You guys enjoy yourself, people?
I think if you have a pair here, you just might go all in.
Why did you do it?
Nobody with anything to call yet. But a lot of these people just came in for 300, so there's over $100 out there head. And New York Bob's just going to call with the 10-7. He can't resist the suited connectors.
Hey, good game, Doc.
So Fred's calling with pretty much anything he has, I think. There's too much money. He has $48, almost a third of his stack in there. And I don't even know if he's seen his hand, but he does have the best hand right now. Oh, Fred's moving all in, so it's going to be a little raise here for Nick. Nick can't fold. So 133 total. Nick will make the call. New York Bob will also make the call. And somehow, Fred has the best hand here with Queen 7 of diamonds. He actually has Bob dominated.
Everyone wants a vendetta shot, except me. You're a patron.
And that's correct. Make sure you hit the like button. 5 straddles. And Nick is going to hit a 4 to take the lead. New York Bob has a gut shot. Needs an 8. They're going to check it down. And Nick is going to win with 4-3. $442 pot. The 4-3 is going to win here as nobody makes a pair. Nick hidden, bottom pair, and bottom pair. Oh, Nick hasn't even seen his cards. So Nick straddle for $96, put on the 5th straddle for 96. Fred went all in for 133, and Nick just called blind. So Nick, the big winner of the night, is going to add to that total.
Bob, where'd you go, Bob?
What happened? No. We just did straddle.
That's why. You straddle first.
No, but I'm big fan right now.
Mine's right here.
I need a 12.
That's why.
We're doing the blind straddle?
So Chubbs with the under the gun straddle once. Well, he double straddled last time, but now he's under the gun. And I don't think El Gallo's going to put on the double straddle because he feels like everybody else will straddle behind him. And I think El Gallo just added on. Yes, he just added on 200 to his stack. All right, action folded to Yvette with the Jack 7. Should probably fold this and does.
You didn't look at your card though.
7-3 of clubs for the Cajun Nation. I like a raise here. Nope. Got to play the power of the button. Pedro with the King 10 does indeed raise. It's too small to get anyone to fold, though.
I got the knee pad there at the office corner for we give all our frontline employees, so let me know if you need some.
So 3 ways to the flop, $55. Ace high. So Chubb's going to hit the 9. And he's probably going to be betting here once it's checked to him. There's the bet. And Fred, also with the 9, makes the call. So everybody had the other player dominated, as the King 10 had the 10-9 dominated, and the Jack 9 also having it dominated. And I don't think Fred's folding on this paired board. It's going to be the Jack kicker playing.
Whoa! He saw it.
He didn't see it. He looked at me like I took red, but I took the green. You ready? No.
Everybody doing okay?
Next that way.
Hey, that's the word. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that.
Yo.
Hey, you're banned from here.
I hope I see you in the street somewhere.
Hey, I hope you deal to me one of these days.
Hey, get him. We ain't tipping you no more, sucker.
Yo.
You won't make a big deal.
He called it out.
Yo.
So I do appreciate the love, as I do agree it is boring to watch a live stream, or it's boring to watch a stream without a commentator.
What John Dre did.
Hey, I'll take one. I'll take one.
I'm sorry if I'm
Obviously, it's not equal to, but it's almost as bad as watching poker live, because it is boring when you don't know the players' hold cards. I've seen players where they bring either their significant other or a friend, and the friend is just sitting behind them watching, and I could never do that. I mean, obviously, I like poker. I play poker. I'm commentating on the poker, but I'm not sitting behind my friend watching him play poker. Because if you don't know the cards, it is not exciting. But as you can see, we see everybody's cards. We see people mixing it up with the 7 deuce, and El Gallo is going to do just that. So Nick bluffing with the 7 deuce earlier, and now El Gallo putting on the bluff with the 7 deuce. And looks like Yvette's not a believer. She will be in position. Goose calling with the suited cards.
Hey, you're gonna be the 5th in rotation? Thanks a lot.
And looks like John Dre's getting up, and he is getting replaced. So John Dre having to clock into work, as he was scheduled to work tonight. And it's going to be hard for El Gallo to continue on here, but he is representing an ace, as he did raise it with the 7 deuce, but he is out of position. 3 players called him. It's going to be very hard for him to continue, and he does shut it down. Yvette with the king. Let's see if she puts out a bet. There's 245 in the pot. And she does check. So is this going to open the door for El Gallo to bluff the turn? 5-3 of Goose picking up a straight draw. And is that a $25 bet? Fred with the $25 bet, as he paired his 4. And Goose is going to call with the gut shot. And I think the 7 deuce is finally done with this hand. You have to put somebody on an ace or a king here. He can only raise. He can't call. So everybody, yeah, there's the fold. So Fred needed a 6 or a 4. Goose needed a deuce. And Goose hits his 3, but that's not going to be good. The flush draw does come in, which might slow down the action. If it goes, if he vet checks, I can see Goose bluffing. How much does Goose have in his stack? 444? Goose would have to put out a pretty big bet. Goose will have to bet at least 200 if he wants to win this pot. He knows his 3 isn't good, but can he pull the trigger? He finally checks, and Yvette's going to take down this $300 pot. So, the Cajun Asian, part-time dealer here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, was scheduled to work tonight. He was hoping that we weren't busy, but we are busy here. So he clocked into work, and Ruben and Ojosa taking his seat as we will switch out the dealers here.
I was gonna bet 130. You called for sure.
I was gonna bet 200 no matter what came out, as long as there wasn't an 8.
I don't know, I got this nervous, like, someone has like a flash,
I was goofing off on that. Fucking up.
Were you fucking around?
Who was?
You got mine?
Yeah.
So dealer change, Kenny back in the box.
All I heard was rash. Sound effects after that shit.
Ace-8 for Nick, should be raising here to 15.
Oh, why do you have to go?
And it's going to be 15. I guess he heard me. So Ruben's there in seat 4. He finished 5th in the Valley Poker Open. He was one of the chip leaders coming back for day 2 and finished 5th for, I believe, 4th.
Nick, I'm very patient. I'll just wait. It's already. It's finished?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No.
It's had a slow start.
Queen eye flop, nobody flopping a pair. First to bluff will win. Both players have black cards. It's all red cards. Does Nick hit a straight on the river? Yeah, Nick hits a straight on the river, so he'll bet. Bob doesn't have anything to call him with. Bob should be making the fast fold. Bob makes sure he doesn't have a straight and makes the fold. Yeah, that would be funny if the if they put it on the table. But these dealers are determined beforehand. There are 2 dealers that deal the stream table.
I got 2. I saw episode 2 and I was like, I gotta take care of the 2. That's where they kill that guy, right? Bro, I'm like,
So normally the downs for the dealers here at the Card House are every half hour. For the stream table, they do select 2 dealers to deal the stream and change out every hour. So the dealers tonight are Kenneth Jones and Ashley, also known as Ash Cash, to her followers on the gram.
No, I
Give it to the second son,
6
right?
and a half.
First one's almost in there.
Six is like-
The other one's
It's
straight.
insane. 6 is almost like
The other one's just scratch.
So you can see the players taking advantage of those dollar beers. Dollar Michelob, dollar Bud Lights, and draft, and $2 Dos Equis. So the import beer's $1 more, but still $2 for a Dos Equis. King high flop coming, and now.
I'm ready for this guy.
What do you have, George?
Oh, Chubbs with the queens here, got his queens cracked, but he's going to be raising here. He doesn't feel like anybody has the king, as the flop did check through. Fred with the 10 finally folds. And Nick has top pair and a flush draw. I might even consider a 3-bet here. This is a super, super strong hand. You only have one more street to get value out of your player, and he's just going to call. Oh, I was going to say queen of diamonds would be gross, but it is the queen of hearts. And now Chubbs is going to size this up, I think. I think Chubbs is going to put in a small raise here. The straight got there, but I don't think he's worried about it. But he's going to put in a small raise, maybe to like 250.
You see what cards and alcohol does? And social media?
Brings out the best in you.
It brings out this. You don't think no more.
And it's going to be 300. And now Nick is confused. I know it sounds like I'm being results oriented, but I did say Nick should have raised on the turn. Once he called the $10 from Fred and Chubbs raised, I did say Nick should have raised just because his hand, he had top pair with the flush draw. Normally when you have a big hand, you want to build a pot.
99% of people.
But at least I got action.
That's all we all care about.
So I'm sure Nick is not putting Chubbs on a set, but he is putting him on at least 2 pair here.
That one.
So Nick replaying the hand in his head here, trying to figure out what went wrong. And let's see if he can figure out what went wrong.
I know, it's the first thing I saw too. I was like, wow, you guys are just teaming up like
Block everything else.
I think he's going to fold here. And right as I say that, he's reaching for chips. Now, Chubbs bluffed Nick earlier in the stream if you're just joining us, and that is also factoring in. And I did say one of the reasons why Chubbs showed the bluff was to set up a play like this later on. And let us see if Nick can get away from the hand. Oh, it looked like he was going to push the green chips forward. He does make the fold.
Do I really?
You missed the flush.
I saw my hand.
All right, Chubbs is going to show his hand.
The universal check, like when you straddle, when you throw the chips in, it's like a check, right? So you're a dick if you want to do something afterwards. Bro, I threw the chips in just not even like thinking, so I had to check. I'm not even asking him to change my mind.
So I missed the pre-flop action, but it turns out that Chubbs straddled on the button, and he accidentally checked his option. He was going to raise with the queens, but he didn't raise with the queens. I did miss that action. And essentially what happened was he took the straddle off of the button and pushed it forward, which pretty much indicates a check from him when he really didn't want to check. So a lot of different angles happening on that hand. We'll definitely rewatch that to see. I thought Chubbs raised with the queens pre-flop, but it turns out he straddled and checked his option, accidentally checking his option.
But that's the story. They got in a fight, they moved down the street, nobody else.
I'm just in this spot. I'm hitting this spot.
Hey, 10 on the bite. I got you. Now,
Hey, but if you don't come back, your hand's mugged.
All right. Hey, neta.
I'm gonna raise on purpose.
I just realized I didn't. The what? I had two black queens. He had king with a flush draw. And there was a queen of hearts.
Yeah, so that hand's going to be interesting to rewatch.
I was thinking about what you had, and I'm like, it's not fair to flush draw.
His face though was the best. That's what I'm saying. I can't read him. And he had that look like, oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
King high flop once again, and Pedro with the king. El Gallo with a 4. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draws. And nobody else with nothing. Pretty big bet here. 28. There was a straddle, which is why the pot is $70. And El Gallo does have a pair with some backdoor draws. Does have the power of the button. And looks like he's going to see one more card. Yvette's not done with her ace. Jack coming on the turn. Pedro should be betting this once again when it's checked to him. It's 157 in the pot. Should be putting out probably about 75. And he's going to put out, I think, 66, 61. And I think everybody's going to be done with this hand. That is not a card that El Gallo wanted to see. He wanted to see a club. He wanted to see a 7, a 4, a 5, a 6. And he is going to be making the fold.
Reference number 2. I know, bro. Will wants to talk about politics so bad.
No, I don't.
I love it, man. I love it. You look at your hat, Wade.
And Yvette's going to have to finally fold this ace.
So I know who you're voting for.
No flush draw. No straight draw. And there's the muck.
I know who I'm not voting for. For who? I'm not voting for Trump.
I have his shoes in my truck. I really do. I should go wear them.
You know what? If I would've
So it looks like one of the dealers here, Alex, he's also one of the floors, Alex Sinaloa. Looks like he's got a fan here.
The credit card's still going through for the debt that we're giving our children, for all the charges.
You know what? I've been working.
Trump is just paying himself.
I've been working for.
Oh, I love it.
I've been working for.
That's what every
I've been working for.
Yeah, but he can just at least lie to me about it.
I know, but
He's throwing it out
I've been.
there.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Nobody else does. Everybody else about it. I wouldn't want to lie about it.
I've been working.
So as I said, the drinks are flowing, and normally you don't want to talk politics or religion at the poker table, and somebody bringing up politics after they've had a couple of shots.
There's no way.
can't even run a garage.
Who's that?
Trump.
And I was a Republican.
Oh,
He's
we can't talk
ruined
about
our party.
Guys, we can't talk about
Hey, okay. You know what? You know what? You know what?
And it does sound like one of the players at the table saying, you know what, we should change the subject. Kind of reading through the comments here. A lot of action in the YouTube chat. We do appreciate that.
Mom, I have a level of respect for you. I mean, God. And I'm a Republican, but I can do it. He doesn't know left or right.
I grew up in New York, and we lived for 48, 49 years.
honestly,
I knew he was a fucking asshole back in the 70s.
You remember how we got all that?
So, Jandre on the clock, but I don't think he's pushed in yet because he has opened the YouTube. That's the Cajun Asian right there.
The guy was found guilty of aggravated discrimination in the 70s.
Yes.
So over 6? Over 6? Partner, you gotta hit that one first.
All right, so looks like they have stopped talking to politics, so now the game should speed up. As Nick hit in top pair, and now he turns a flush draw. So very similar hand to what he had before, a pair and a flush draw. And this is when you want to build a pot, but he's checking.
Not if the Orioles score. I'm just saying, he was a racist.
They did.
Back then.
It was.
It's about even right now. Or is, or whatever it is. No.
So everybody checking around. The deuce coming on the river, so Nick's still good.
Well, the majority, I said. Majority counts. Majority counts.
That was a
And Nick makes the bet. Nobody has anything to call him with.
Man,
And I got
someone
that.
give this guy chips and he fucking
I'm
fucked
a
it.
minority, so I can say that.
Were
He
you
can't say
bluffing?
that.
You waking up, by the way. I didn't even see you.
I had a key.
Hey,
You're gonna see it on live.
how about this? How about this?
I'm just saying, every white person before 7
So everybody making the fold. Nick will win the pot. Nick will win the button. And let's see what we have here. Is this the VPIP? No, this is went to showdown.
Wait. Did you have a high?
Ruben is at 0%, but he's played less than 10 hands. And a lot of times, hands don't get to showdown, as somebody will bet on the flop, turn, or river, and somebody else will fold. So normally this percentage is not very big. So action is on New York Bob, King 6 into the mutt, Pedro, 9-5 into the mutt, Chubbs.
Now you want to bring in religion. What is wrong with you?
Actions on Chubbs.
Or at least stereotypical. That's back in the ranch. Back to reality.
Back in the ranch when
Not like Texas will ever vote blues.
So Nick just calling with the Queen 10. I think he should be raising here. Normally when it's folded to you on the button, you want to open up your range. But it looks like it looks like he has the best hand, but Goose actually with the King High has the best hand right now.
Not you. Look at that stack.
And let's see if anybody takes a stab at the pot. First to bluff, first to bet will win this pot.
just so they can prevent fake money.
The deuce for Goose. Looks like he has $3 in his hand. As soon as he bet checks here, he's going to put out those $3, I think. There's only $9 in the pot, which is one of the reasons why Nick should have raised. You want to build a pot in position. And event's not done. Has a queen or a 6. And let's see if Goose bets his deuce on the river. Nope, check on the river. $15 pot for the Vaquero. So this is pre-flop raise, pre-flop raising. Chubbs has been the most active, as has Nick. Both those players have the most chips at the table. Nick winning his chips, Chubbs buying his chips, but they are definitely putting them to work.
Freddie, I know you saw that. That saved both of y'all.
I don't even look anymore. Wait till the win.
They were big business. Oh, bro, hey, that saved both of them right here. Look.
I started here. I got my license.
Oh!
They moved me to
Oh,
Laredo.
because it bounces
I
off.
was the only advisor to
There's a runner in second.
And then they moved me to Houston. And I was
There's a runner in second.
Yes.
And that guy goes to third at least. No, the
goes
batter.
home.
The batter.
I was killing it in Houston.
Who's moving to Houston? Is it Shell? Which oil company is moving to Houston? Chevron.
I'm moving to Savannah, Georgia.
Nick, you're in oil? You're in oil?
Talk about
Queens again. Seems to be the hand of the night.
I don't know what California did, but they stopped a lot of people.
taxes.
California has a state tax.
Elon got paid. Chevron got
But no one cares what Elon thinks. He's nuts. He's on.
Fuck Elon.
Why fuck him?
He's crazy.
He's a racist.
125.
One thing I've learned in life is people don't like greatness.
Yeah.
People don't.
No, they don't like outspoken people. Well, yeah.
They don't like.
Well, no.
They don't like winners. They don't like winners.
Is he a winner? When he's trying to stop.
So another comment, very lively chat tonight. I do like it. I know somebody mentioned that I am by myself on the booth. So we will answer your question. We will give shout outs. And is it true that Alan Chainsaw Kessler is the announcer, the commentator's first cousin. No, that is not true. That is false. I am not related to Alan Kessler.
You're talking about every company.
But you know what though?
You're talking about this company.
So only 2 players in the positive, really only 1 player in the positive. Nick with all the chips, and that's because he lost a decent pot to Chubbs. So Nick in the positive, Pedro at 55. Then you have 2 players that are basically down $10. But everybody else down at least $150.
I'm gonna have kids. My kids are gonna have kids. They're gonna hate. So they're gonna hate on my daughter one day because she's gonna potentially be successful. Because she had a head start because somebody else did something good.
Taking a head start.
Yes. No. No, it's head start.
How many programs? How many people got their degree? The GI Bill.
What?
And people, the GI Bill saved a lot of people. My father remembers that.
Absolutely.
But they want to take all that away too. Did you not read what Trump's proposition that 2020?
All right, $20 raise from Fred.
That's not his though.
That's just signed on.
Oh, Kings for Goose.
That's his.
Kings for Goose going to be making it 90 here.
Every single one of them, he knows everything that's in it. He's just lying to you like he's done for the last.
I'm not listening.
Every government official lies.
No, don't leave. We can't talk politics.
No, I got.
You gotta go to the house. She's on call.
Okay. I was like, dude. I once had.
Oh, Fred's going to be making the call. Like I said, both Fred and Goose are friends, and they love to win pots off of each other.
Thanks for playing.
Hey guys, thank you.
Be safe.
Thank you for that look. I'm gonna try that look next time. That was perfect. Oh, nice meeting you.
Oh, really?
I really.
Oh, Fred's going to hit a 10, so he's going to continue on here. Goose making it 90 pre-flop. Now he's going to make it 125, 130. Or did he say all in?
Best friend on best friend.
Yeah, Goose saying all in, and Fred's calling him. Like I said, they love winning pots off of each other. They are running it twice. Fred's going to need a 10, an ace, or a spade. That's not it. 10 or an ace. That's not it. And there's the 10. They will be chopping it up. So the second player that we have leaving the table because of work. So earlier, the Cajun Asian was in seat 4. He had to deal, so he capped out. And then we just lost Yvette. I'm sure you saw her in her scrubs. Well, it turns out she was on call. They called her in. So we do have a seat open on the stream table. We still have about 2 hours to go.
But
I know so many people that hate Trump or.
So I saw somebody hype on social media talking about how the stock market crashed the last 2 days or 2.5 days, and everybody says everybody deserves it. But everybody deserves it for the people who don't have money in the stock market or the 401k. Like you deserve it because you don't have shit. I'm sorry to say that. When the people are posting.
So the mood at the table has definitely changed, and the buzzkill is the politics. The table's still talking politics.
Yeah, I hope they all lose their money.
And the action has slowed down as well.
Have their money, whether they're in their 40s, 30s, 50s, or 60s, in the 401k. So you shouldn't be saying it's in the money market. It's the money market.
So Goose with the King's last hand, coming in with the 3 deuce.
You shouldn't hate on it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't hate. They're hating on it. Yeah, good for this, good for that.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Some of those people who are actually saying those things actually have parents and they take care of them.
It's so funny because no matter what the topic is, you could be 100% correct, but you're not going to change somebody's mind at a poker table.
He loves it. He loves it.
So Jack 10 for New York Bob flopping open-ended. Chubb's flopping a gut shot. And I think we have somebody taking seat 2 there.
The norm is like really
Diamond coming on the turn.
shitty. Like, actually laughing about it.
And Goose picking up a pair now.
Outside of here, this poker, like it's
Politicians.
Fred with the fours makes the bet,
Now you can't now.
and Jack 10 for New York Bob. He's not going to be folded here. Chubbs might call with his gut shot, and that's exactly what he's doing. Goose also called with his bottom pair. So 158 in the middle, and the 5 of diamonds will complete the flush. Nobody has a flush, and pocket fours is going to win this hand.
You know that was a joke, right?
Unless Goose puts out a bluff. No, Goose bluffs. So Fred's going to be super surprised when he shows the fours. I think it's going to be even better when he slow rolls Goose here. Goose showing the 3, thinking it's good. And look at Fred looking at Goose.
No, he knows that.
I mean, yeah, I guess you play tournaments, but you're not paying attention. I'm sorry.
I didn't know this.
You didn't know nothing?
You know what? 20 years ago, maybe even 25, nobody paid attention or understood politics.
Yeah, that is correct.
Like 90%, no, 95%.
The mood at this table is definitely switched. I know the players are not mic'd up, but there are microphones at the top of the table. So if the players are talking loud, you can hear it.
Of course, yeah.
The news used to be 30 minutes long.
So shout out to Yvette. As a yes indeed, she did seem to be an action player and in the healthcare. So Yvette playing the stream for the first time, already picking up some fans. All right, who took her seat? Who's seat 2 there? AG3? AG3. Does not look familiar to me. But let's see how AG3 plays.
Why does everyone of the media say
Oh, Chubbs with the 3-bet here. The 6-4. Nick, the initial raiser, picked up 2 callers. Chubbs does not feel those 2 callers are strong. So as long as you get by the initial raiser, normally the other players will fold. Chubbs did not get by the initial raiser. And Nick calls, and that's going to bring in New York Bob.
I'm not unburdened by what has been?
So Chubbs will be first to act.
No, but I hate records.
6-4 of clubs. Oh, and Chubb's going to flop open-ended. He should be continuing here. None of his opponents caught anything. But he's going to let him catch something for free as he does check. And there's the ace. So I'm a little surprised that Chubbs checked the flop, and now he's leading once the ace comes. $150 bet. So $200 in the pot. Pretty big bet.
They won't allow like rainbows in classrooms because of the kids.
So let's see if Nick makes the call. Yes, Nick makes the call. And what's Chubbs going to do on the river if he misses? I know what he's going to do if he makes his hand. He's going to put out a pretty big bet if he makes his hand. But if he misses, that's the question. He needs an 8 or a 3. If he misses, what does he do?
Under 9.5 is sweaty.
He's going to make a 4, so now he has showdown value. I don't think he thinks, yeah, showdown value. He's going to take his showdown value. And Nick's going to check back as only a hand that's better than his will be calling him. He does have an ace, no reason to bet here. The pot's already 500. And he disagrees with me.
Oh,
We have over 6, Warner.
And like I said, he gets the immediate fold. Chubbs is only calling him there if he hasn't beat.
it'll be a good sweat.
I like that.
Really should have checked that back.
I like that one.
You know what? They're gonna win.
Straight away.
7-0. Tiger 7-0.
Not that high. Not that high. If that score holds, we all win.
The Tigers win, I win, Georgie wins. We're all sweating over there. That's why I said I want to be on the home side.
So under the gun is Fred. He's first to act. 8-4 of hearts. I was going to say should be folding, but they're suited. And if we learned anything from tonight, we have learned that players here in the Rio Grande Valley like to play suited cards. Pocket deuces for Nick, makes the call. Suited cards for Bob, he's calling. And it looks like Pedro needs a little bathroom break. Or a smoke break.
Is this facts? Okay, so how did you get them?
The big leg just went.
9-5 offsuit for Chubbs. 8-4-4. I think somebody had a 4.
Who wants to spread my word?
Did somebody have a 4? Yes, Fred had a 4. You see, and Fred's going to tell you this is why you play suited cards, to hit trips.
How much are they?
So Fred with the trips, Nick with the deuces. Doesn't think anybody has an 8 or a 4, and normally that would be the case. But Fred has the 4, and Fred should just be calling here. Really no reason to raise. New York Bob has a backdoor straight flush draw, 9 of spades. We'll give him a backdoor straight flush draw, so he wants to see one more card. Queen of spades?
Ryan Mountcastle was swinging for
There's the 7, so Bob's making a pair here, and Fred is checking again. And it goes check to the river. Fred finally puts out a bet. Nick can't call with the deuces.
Wow.
Does Bob call with the 7s?
Yeah, if you have the under.
$60 bet. He's worried about the 8, not the 4, but he did hit a pair, and looks like he's going to pay Fred off here.
That's a great splitter. That's a great splitter. Hey, here comes the 3-run bomb.
He's still thinking here. No, he makes the 4.
Home run the first inning.
He was worried about the 8, not necessarily the 4, but he was beat either way.
There's 2 on base now. 7 hole.
The odds weren't as big as he thought they were on something like that. The odds are probably like 35 to 1.
For what?
Like when he said, like,
two-run bomb?
yeah, because so if you had a live thing based on the
We just had the Valley Poker Open. Wrap that up on Monday night, Tuesday morning. But we still have tournaments here at the Texas Card House. Deep Stack Saturdays. $150 entry, starts at 6 p.m. $3,000 prize pool. 50K start and stack. 50K start and stack. So a lot of play at the beginning.
That's me, bro. That is me.
All right, looks like AG's first hand coming in for the limp, the ace-5 offsuit. And Ruben will raise it up with the queen 10.
Hey, no player.
You needed to end already, bro.
Not really, because Toronto doesn't come back and score. Toronto has 2 at least.
And Nick calling with the jack-9, AG folding the ace.
They're both coming in. They're both coming in.
That's 2.
Yep. I told y'all. I told y'all.
Yeah, he did. He called it.
Queen 10 versus jack-9, and the jack's going to outflop.
That it was good.
Well, if you told her, why didn't you put that bet over there?
Because I didn't want to.
It's a tournament, Ruben. It's not tournament.
You're mad too, or what?
So tournament, Ruben going to put out the continuation bet after he raises. It's not going to work. Oh, little shaky there.
Dunder's been gone an hour, bro.
See if that camera stabilizes.
8:45.
And now Nick picks up a straight draw, needs an 8 for a straight. I think Ruben's going to check back here, knowing that Nick is going to call. There's the check. And Nick hitting trips. Let's see what Nick does here. Is he just ordered a drink? Once again, this is a social club. Full service bar, pool table. Poker's just part of it. And Ruben's going to have to fold his queen high.
Not for his network, like for his like daily goals. Like,
Little B2Z in the house.
Little B2Z.
So sounds like the microphone picking up some of the players getting excited. They're watching a baseball game. They're watching a baseball game. That's why they got excited. The microphones at the table really only picking up when the players are really loud, and apparently somebody scored in the baseball game.
it was a little too top. A little too what?
Yeah.
No,
For like second place, it's like
King Jack for Fred makes the call.
The only difference that changed it, the reason why I was top heavy was because of
25K.
no, because of the incentives. The incentives. Because
So pocket deuces for deuce. Goose makes the call. Ruben also with the King Jack makes the call. And Bob with the ace
yeah, of course, yeah.
wants to see 3 cards. He'll make the call. Suited connectors for Pedro. I think he's going to come along.
Oh, 3 bags, 400 each. 4 8 total.
Good, but it hadn't been that much.
And El Gallo going to check his options. So 6 ways to the flop. We go.
I like the idea that it's 400. It shouldn't be double. I was saying that. Yeah. I was saying that earlier.
The only reason
King high flop is both the King Jacks are going to make top pair. Fred will check his top pair. Oh, a set from Goose. And Goose is going to be sneaky here, making the check back. And Ruben will bet his top pair.
No, but what I'm saying is that we've always hit the guarantee, right? Yeah.
So Ruben puts out 25. Fred should just be calling here. And I think Goose is going to call as well. Really doesn't have anything to worry about. The only thing he has to worry about is a straight draw. Not worried about somebody having pocket kings, not worried about somebody having pocket queens. Maybe a jack 10. And looks like he's going to raise. So I think if it's heads up, he just makes the call, but he has 2 players in. So he says one of these players has a king for sure. One of them might have a straight draw. So let me charge the straight draw.
I'm gonna break down like this. The price pool was 84,000 at incentives. So when you take off 25,000 from 84,000, then second place is gonna suck.
Oh, Ruben's going all in here, and he's going to be in bad shape.
So everything does matter.
It was a small bet on the flop. There was 70, I believe the pot was $73. $10 button straddles, 7 people called, $73. Ruben betted 25, and he figured it was weakness, and Goose just told him he has a set, and you saw Ruben put his hand in his face there, knowing that he's basically drawn dead. Oh, no longer drawn dead, but he does miss. He did hit the case king to give him life, but Ruben is going to show the king jack, and looks like he's reaching into his wallet there, or as my dad calls it, bill folder.
I was gonna flat to it. I was like, how should I play it?
Yeah, so Ruben thought that his 1/3 size bet looked weak to Goose. That's why Goose was raising, especially when Fred called. He thought Goose was making a move, but he found out pretty quickly he was not. So Texas Card House does have an app. It is called Hijack. So we could see that Aldo plays on that, I believe. I do not play on it. I do not play on it. Hijack Poker app. That is the Texas Card House app.
It looks over level 10. No, Goose is gonna say what? You look at money on the.
So another button straddle. AG3. It's costing him $7 more, but he had a $5 out, so he will put another 5 to complete with his suited queen. Pedro with the suited king. And it is suited cards, so they're going to play it. And Chubb's going to be raising here. So Chubb's punishing the limpers. Really doesn't feel like anybody has anything strong since they just called the $10. And he is in position here. Oh, look at that. He's making this move out of the hijack, which is the name of the poker app. It's a little funny how that happened. Did you do that on purpose, Aldo? Mentioned the hijack app, and now Chubb's raising on the hijack. Bob is not a believer as he is calling the raise here.
It was his. If you can protect your hand, you don't deserve to get it. You know, keep that one. Keep that one.
And Chubb's flopping 2 pair.
I love it, man. Willie and Fred were going back at it all night. I love it.
Fred actually called the raise on the button. So Fred called the raise with Queen 10 offsuit. He was the straddler. He did not want to give up his straddle. He did not want to give up the power of the button. But now that he flopped nothing, he's going to give it up. New York Bob might come along here, as he does have 2 overcards to the board. He also has some backdoor draws. So New York Bob might come along. This is an $85 bet. Looks like they punched in 80. Yeah, okay. It's 5 to call. Did it? New York Bob bet 5? No. Okay, New York Bob does fold.
You haven't showed once. What? You can't even remember. Bob, you want a shot? I can't even remember the time you showed.
I don't even want to see that. Okay, so I already got
So a bit of a Matrix moment, as somebody in the comments was asking about the hijack poker app from the Texas Card House, and Chubbs puts in a bluff from the hijack position at the poker table. All right, so we really only have one winner tonight, and that's Nick. He's up over $1,000. Everybody else is either winning $20 or losing.
Oh, wait. One more. Alexis.
Alexis, 6 total, Alexis.
Ruben, you're good?
Una dos X en su cuenta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, be like Goose. Give me 6-pack and fucking give me some Marble Reds. Fuck it. Marble Reds. More expensive.
Jack 8 of for Pedro. Oh, he folds. I think he needs to take a smoke break or something. That's why he folded. You can see the Queen Deuce. It's suited, and he's going to be raising. So now El Gallo's in the hijack, and now El Gallo making a raise, and Fred with the Ace-Jack immediately calls. Nick does have the button here. I think he's going to put out the $17 more to play this hand. He's also the big winner tonight, up over 1,000, so he's definitely going to put those chips to work here. He's in very bad shape, as his deuce should normally be live, but it is not. All diamonds. El Gallo raising this pre-flop. Let's see if he puts out the continuation bet. Continuation bet will work here. $85 in the middle. He's going to bet about 35, 40. He bets 31, and Fred immediately calls him with his ace high. So Nick's done with this hand now.
Get over here, Vecchio.
Vecchio's still here? Yes.
Jack of hearts. Jack of hearts for fun?
I'm telling you, bro.
No, it's a 3. Does El Gallo continue to bluff here? He's checking to see how much Fred has in his stack, and he's going to slow down. Winger or deuce is still live for him, though, and there's the deuce. The flush draw does get there. And it's going to go check, check. He's going to show the deuce.
Don't be nice, bro.
That's
Can't
good.
be nice, bro.
Arnold, that's good.
Can't be nice.
I'll tell you what Freddie had.
I'm gonna buy it 20 seconds. Bro, that's the nicest hand I've seen in like 10 hands, bro.
King deuce?
I don't know if this is invested.
So they were just announced seat 7 is adding more chips. So Chubbs looks like he's added on another 500.
I've never, I don't know. I didn't see his stats on his ERA. Kirby's the better pitcher, and the Tigers have the better pitcher. Who's pitching for Detroit?
The poker pyramid is back here at Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, but this time we're showing some love to the pot limit Omaha players. So bonuses available, any quads, and two of the quads have already been hit, maybe even 3, which is going to knock down the first level. The last high hand is going to pay 1,000, but this is available on all the PLO games. This is also available during the bomb pots for the top board. So if you play bomb pots and hit quads on the top board or hit a straight flush or royal flush, the bonuses are also available there. So Chubbs just added on 500 to his stack, and Ruben with the ace king. So Chubbs adding onto his stack and raising it to 30 with the 7-5. Bob put it on the 3-bet with the pocket 4s, and Ruben, who just ordered a drink, has the ace king suited. I think he should just stuff it all in here. He is already down a buy-in, but there's the stuff.
There we go. You knew it.
And Bob is not going to be happy. Bob does have the best hand right now, but obviously there's no way for him to know that. And even if he saw the ace-king, oh, he makes the call. Bob put in another $200 for him to call. So we are off to the races. 51 to 49%, basically even.
That's your imagine. You're like, oh, I would have
No.
I was like,
7-5 off.
look, there's one runner.
So Ruben looking.
That's Detroit!
So once again, these players are watching a baseball game, and that's the cheering that you're hearing. But Ruben looking for an ace, a king, some diamonds. Even a paired board works, as it's very easy for the pocket 4s to get counterfeited. So the dealer making sure the stacks are correct. Pretty sure we're just going to run it once. And Bob is still out in front, needs a 6 for a straight. Ace or king for Ruben, and Bob is going to hold with the 4s. And let's see if Ruben rebuys, as this is his second buy-in.
I have pocket 8s, I told you. Hey, is that good?
Go get the shot.
They're making yeah, that's a fucking great start.
So Ruben's standing up. I don't know if he's done or if he's going to the ATM.
You know,
Yeah, Bob, just like that. Little force.
No, it's a big line boss.
So Bob wasn't happy with the situation, but he was ahead, as he did raise 100, and it was less than 300 to call the all-in. He felt pot committed, and we got the double straddle on, and double straddle not allowed, but a single straddle is.
and then those 3 back there.
Okay, so just making sure the button was right. The button is right. The double straddle is on, and action is going to be on El Gallo in seat 8.
Hey, who got the?
Oh, then wait. I got him.
Who's your big gentleman, bro?
We told her 6. You heard her say 6. Eh, una más, Alexei. Gracias, mamita. Ay, boy, she said.
King deuce of diamonds for Nick. He's going to be calling for sure, might be raising. He's seeing exactly how much the straddle's for, and he's going to be making the call. AG3 folds. Goose making the fold. New York Bob with the Jack 4, second time he's at the flat tire. Pedro needed to call another $6. Will do just that, and Chubbs has an ace. He's going to be raising here to 50.
I know you want the latter portion of it.
But I know I've seen you, bro.
What does Nick do? Nick's the only one that could call. Pedro's going to fold. And Nick also folds, so Chubbs will raise and take here.
It's gonna be interesting.
Shots fired.
Hold on. Who's your team?
You know, I guess it's like teams are always interesting.
100%. We both know what happens in the playoffs. Come on now. Let's be real for a second.
The Lions.
You want to say this?
No. I'm not gonna talk shit about
Yeah, who's your team, bro? Everybody has
Were you at one?
So dead button as Ruben got knocked out in his big blind.
For the Cowboys, because I live here, everybody roots for them.
That's what the whole fucking season for Tuna about.
Not a Cowboys, I'm
Hey, serious.
El Gallo with the ace king. Looks like he's taking care of his credit card bill there.
sorry, but, you know, and I would have been in Texas.
Straddle.
I'd have switched that year.
And then the Texans can have a better.
And he's just going to call the straddle. Fred's coming along as well. Nick might raise here with the ace. No, he just calls. AG away from his seat.
Hold on.
Action on New York Bob.
He was
Cheers.
but he was a good owner.
Cheers, gentlemen. To health and prosperity to everybody on this table. Cheers.
All right, so they were talking politics earlier. That stopped, and now they are having some adult beverages. So very opposite feel of the table now. The table was a lot quieter before, but now everybody having fun, and New York Bob flopping a big hand here as he flops a pair and a straight draw. Pedro flopping top pair, also has a straight draw. He's going to lead. Fred with top pairs, not going to be folding. He's going to make the call. El Gallo going to let go of the ace-king. That's a good fold. He didn't get married to his hand. He had a really strong hand. He limped to try to trap. Nobody raised. Oh, Fred folding a 7. Is Fred okay?
They added a game, didn't they?
Second week of, no, first week of January.
What? Texans?
No, the winter season. Like the second week, the first or second week of January, right?
So New York Bob makes the call, does not want to see a 6. And there's the ace. I think it's going to go check here. No, Pedro has top pair, or he had top pair. He has second pair now, but he still has a straight draw, so he's going to bet it. And it's a small bet. Bob's going to definitely call there. So Bob, open-ended here. Needs an 8 or a 3. A 4 also works. And there's the 4. $144 in the pot. Bob's going to bet $100. And I think Pedro's going to call here. Yeah, Pedro doesn't think he has an ace, and he's going to see how unlucky he got slamming his cards down.
Is that guy still on base? What the fuck's going on? How come he hasn't moved from first?
Hey, he's gonna move right here. A little triple. 2-0.
Hello. Gio Ursula. Come on, Gio.
Let's go, Ursh. Let's go, Ursh.
All right, Gabe, thank you for the advice. I am moving the mic a little away from my mouth.
Oh, God.
So let's see if that sounds a little bit better.
Herbie? Who the hell is that guy?
Herbie Hancock. I saw that movie last
Sometimes when the mic is
Herbie Hancock.
too close, you can really hear the breathing and stuff like that. So I do understand that. All right, straddle from El Gallo. Was kind of hoping he double straddled last time when he had the ace-king. Nick with the 4s. You can see AG3's already cutting out the call. But Nick's going to raise, and AG3's going to call with the ace-6 of diamonds. All right, so I think the sound's a little bit better. Are we going 5 ways to a flop? So somebody raising here. Ace, king, queen. And looks like we have somebody taking seat 4 there. Looks like Tony. Small bet. Small bet here, $15 into a $100 pot. El Gallo with a pair of kings. And Nick feels like he's getting a really good price here. I might have folded here just because the 4 of clubs might not be good. It is good, but he is going to make the $15 call, and it's going to go check, check. Queen coming on the river, and AG is going to put out a little bet here again. So only betting $10 here. You can see he's giving El Gallo a really good price, and he's...
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen. No, if I can save my 10.
So El Gallo's wants to make sure that Nick is going to fold or not raise. He's actually talking to Nick right now and says, telling him, you better not raise, you better not raise.
Hey, welcome back. Are you gonna sit or no?
Bro, he's gonna be on an hour for like an hour. He's gonna be on break for an hour and a half.
I said I can't get it.
It's just an hour right now.
I had the big 4s.
Yeah, go get it to work, motherfucker. Hit and run earlier. Big 4s. The big on camera too. Well, these are little 4s. They didn't win.
So Tony taking seat 4, but the last time he played on the stream, he went by Tony. He said, the next time I play on the stream, I'm going to change my name. Let's see if he changed his name. They're still inputting him in the system. Let's see.
Oh, nobody's tipping you.
I can't wait to do it.
City Star. I like it. So we got City Star, the player formerly known as Tony, in seat number 4. So Tony coming in for 300. That is the minimum buy-in, and we do have a straddle, seat 9. Fred put in the $10 out.
You know what you have to do, right?
Pocket fours for Nick. He just had pocket fours last man. Did not win. He's calling the 10 for sure. He might even raise.
Go check. Want me to go check?
No, he calls the 10. Did not get the 4 last time. Hoping to get the 4 this time. And City Star looks like he's coming in for a raise. Looks like 35. No, it's 40.
City Star. Name on the fucking live stream. City Star.
City Star? County Drainage District? How much is it?
Is that a...
Fred calling with the 8-6.
Is that a Kamala? I mean, is that a Myra or is that a Vicente district? Is that a Myra?
City Star or not?
Is that Myra or Vicente? I'm just asking. All right, so, okay, is it Houston, Texas or Dallas Cowboys?
Oh shit.
And everybody going to be calling the raise as we have a $164 pot. Nick looking for a 4 last time, looking for a 4 again, and it's going to be an ace and a king again. Last time an ace and king came on the flop, 2 clubs came on the flop. Very similar flop from last time. And City Star hitting the king. And now he has a straight draw to go along with his second pair. It's Fred putting in a tiny bet here that's not going to work. As a matter of fact, it's going to get raised by City Star. I just realized Goose is the one with the King Jack. City Star has the King Queen, and Goose makes the good fold. So first hand for City Star, he will take it down.
City Star's here. City Star. I had to, like, you know what I mean? I had to make an entrance, like my new name for sure.
That King Queen partner. What, do you want me to tell you in Spanish so you can understand? Or no?
Hey, what? Does that identify with the flag or the rainbow?
No.
So the next time we are streaming is going to be Friday. Texas Card House open every day at 9 a.m. There is a 1-3 cash game running. We do stream on Wednesday nights and Friday nights.
This is the way I would.
There's no sales in here, man.
So a lot of people making comments about City Star's name. City Star sounds like a pole dancer name. LOA. City Star to the stage. We need City Star to the stage.
City Stars don't get scared.
City Star sounds like one of my daughters, My Little Pony dolls.
He was still talking.
And-
Don't get scared, partner.
And actually,
He was still talking that day.
the table knows that his name is City Star too, so
Hey, and when you do time,
so the table also joking about his name.
you did time, wait, so
I'm pretty sorry. You should have put Houston Edinburg. You said and Edinburg.
You should put Houston.
I'm gonna take a break after.
What are you gonna do, bro?
already.
Me too.
Gave
I don't even know, but I don't know.
Gave myself up. Check is good. I'm gonna wait till actually.
Checked around the Chubbs. He's going to take a stab at this pot, but he's going to get immediately called by Fred's 4.
I saw Todd yesterday. I haven't seen him forever.
Goose also making the call. A heart will be fun on the turn, as it'll give both Goose and Fred a flush draw. There's the heart. Ask and thou shalt receive. So now Fred with a pair and a flush draw. And Goose is going to lead here, picking up the flush draw. He also has the straight draw for the 5. Chubb's turning a pair now. He bet with nothing. Catches a pair, but he's going to fold.
I like that word.
Oh, heart on the river. Heart on the river to destroy somebody.
Hey, the money can last.
If a heart comes on the river here, it's getting all in. Oh, there's the heart. It's getting all in.
Did you random drug test? Oh, I'm out, bro. Pop, pop.
Goose thinks he got really lucky.
To make sure.
Goose thinks he got really lucky. Boom.
To make sure you ain't cheating, man.
So, in a strange way, Goose actually got lucky that Fred only had $87.
Partner, that's not 12. That's how much you got?
So, in a weird way, Goose actually got lucky.
Wow, you bet 100
You don't know
on
what he's
6,
doing, that's my dog.
Double gutter, partner.
Ah, me too.
You got a 4. How much?
What did I say?
Who won?
Hey,
So, so if Fred would have had 500, Fred would have got paid off the 500, but he just has 87. Fred enjoying the $1 beer
It's your turn for the next chapel.
and enjoying the big pot.
I remember my first time.
It's your turn for the next chapel.
Hey, when you win it all night, you have to pay for shots. Shut the fuck up, Hey, when you win it all, you have to pay for shots.
All right, shots.
You didn't get that one. Shit. Hey, he didn't get it.
Hey, Goose,
Whenever I
hurry
hit
up.
better than he wasn't shooting shots.
So Fred getting the better of Goose there. Both of them go runner, runner, flush.
That's got you, but that's this one.
Goose snap calling Fred's all in. Immediately turning over his cards, thinking that he got really lucky, but it turns out he got really unlucky. So we do have a straddle on the button. Let's see how much it is. It is $8. 8 to go. Fred just won last 10. He has the Jack 5, and he will make the fold.
Hey, there's two bites.
Nick with the 10-4 will go into the mug. AG is back. He's got the sunglasses on.
5.
And they are continuing with the shots. Labels out. New York Bob with the ace. Pedro with the ace. Calling the straddle. And El Gallo wanted to know how much chips Pedro's working with. Is this a small raise or what's... So card reader catching up here as there was a raise. Yeah, so El Gallo raised his straddle, a very small raise. It was $8 button straddle, and looks like he's making it 25 total. And he's going to flop a flush draw. New York Bob flopping nothing. Should be a check bet here. The guy who should be betting probably about 30 bucks, I would say. And then New York Bob should be making the fold. 23. There's the fold.
Hey, Bob. I know we went over this, but you know I was fucking around earlier when I was giving just one-liners, right? Talking about New York. No, but it wasn't like I didn't.
So Bob finally getting unstuck. He's up just under $100. AG3, he's only played one hand, but he made $100 in that hand. City Star up $150. The big block Chevy there, $454 in his stack, $454. And Nick still up 1,000. Goose with the sixes should be raising here. 15. He raises $6 with his sixes. It's a little evil. Bob with the A3. I know he likes suited cards, but those aren't connected, so they will find a muck. Pedro also mucking his suited cards. El Gallo, he has suited connectors. He's at least going to call the 6, maybe raise. We just saw him raise with the 4 or 5 last hand, 4 or 5 of spades. And looks like he's going to put out the 3 bet here. Is it 24? 29. Fred with the ace does make the fold. Nick, what does he have? Jack 10. AG3 rocking the sunglasses now. And he will fold. I think Goose is just going to call here. And not strong enough to put out the 4 bet. There's the call. So pocket 6 is in the lead right now. Jack 10 is actually favored 3 ways. So ace coming on the flop. El Gallo flopping a gut shot, needs a deuce for a straight. Could also go runner for the flush. So El Gallo's going to bet draw here. $90 in the middle, should probably go at least 40. And it looks like he's going to bet 50. 55. The speed limit last century. And Goose is going to be done here as he puts El Gallo on an ace. Oh no, he's not letting go of the 6s just yet. So I mentioned this earlier that when Nick called and one of the cards he could hit can make a flush. So same deal here. If the 6 of hearts comes, the flush draw gets there. And there's the 6 of hearts. That's going to give El Gallo a double gut shot now as a 7 will make a straight for him. So the flush draw did get there. I think both players are going to proceed cautiously. There's the check. I think El Gallo needs to slow it down here. Nope. So another small bet here. So Goose putting him on an ace, hoping he has an ace here. I think he's just going to call here. I don't like this bet on the turn. He bet 60. Now the reason why I don't like the bet, it's not because his opponent hit a set, but he bet the flop and somebody called him, so obviously you're going to put somebody on an ace, you're going to put somebody on a flush draw. and the flush draw gets there, and you have no hearts in your hand, which means your opponent might have the hearts, and you still continue to bet. I don't mind the bet on the flop. I don't mind the bet on the flop, as he was the pre-flop raiser. So bet on the flop, you're representing the ace. But once somebody calls you, you know somebody either has the ace or somebody has a flush draw, and the flush draw is there, and he bets. And you can see he's not going to be able to realize his equity. If he would have checked behind, he had a double gut shot. He would have been able to see if he would have hit the 7 or deuce. But now he's going to get raised off of his hand here. And he'll finally make the fold. I don't think they're going to rabbit hunt, but it would be interesting to see if a 7 or deuce would have come. Deuce is going to show his 6s. And do we have any rabbit hunting? No rabbit hunting.
He's really good.
Wait, he was an actual picture.
Nah.
Really good picture.
No, and now,
Nice hand, nice hand.
now he buys a lot of pictures.
Mid-80s.
He'll buy you all the pictures you
He
want.
told me 1995.
Nah, mid-80s. That's fine.
Goose.
Hey, cheers.
90.
So we got a little less than an hour to go in tonight's stream.
Cheers, guys. I don't know what is this.
I don't know. White tea, orange tea.
Hey, y'all are gonna love it.
As we do have a button straddle. Looks like we got $10. Looks like a $10 button straddle from Nick. That is a $10 button straddle. So queen 4 of diamonds. I don't think AG3 can call here. First to act. And he will make the fold. Goose, who just won the last hand, bumps it up to 45 with the ace, king, and diamonds.
So was the other one.
Goose. You used to throw 91?
My junior year, I topped out at 91.
What I don't understand is, hey, Goose, you play baseball?
So let's see if Nick has anything to call with. Nick, I think Nick's going to call here. He does have suited connectors on the button. He did put out the $10 straddle. I think this call is fine.
What was the fastest stop play that you ever in my life?
So ace king versus 7-8. And Nick is going to flop open-ended with a backdoor flush draw. It's going to go check, check. He should be betting here if Goose checks to him again. Small raise here. Small bet. And Nick going to raise here. I like this raise, as he does think the $15 bet is weak. I think Goose is going to call. I feel like Goose is going to call here. And does Nick bluff the river if he misses? Eighth king sell out in front. And he's going to catch an 8, so he's not going to have to bluff. Goose is probably just going to check here. 211, there's a check. Nick has showdown value now. Should be checking this back. He's trying to figure out what type of hand Goose will call him with. And he's thinking Goose has a 5 or a 6 and will call $80. And Goose cannot call here, he can only raise. I don't feel like he's gonna raise. So Goose is finally going to make the fold. So second time Nick takes his showdown value and tries to get some thin value. And second time it doesn't work. Here's the VPIP. And you can see everybody at least 20%. And 3 players above 50%. So obviously, these players are here to gamble tonight. And we do have an under the gun straddle from New York Bob. Action will be on Pedro, and he will make the fold. Chubbs making the raise with the 9-8. 3x in it. And Nick makes the call with the suited connectors. AG3 just calling with the aces. Just calling with the aces here. Goose calling with the Jack 8 of hearts. And New York Bob will defend his straddle here. So the aces just calling on the button. There was a straddle, Chubb's raise, there was a call, and the aces just calling on the button. And it's going to come Queen 7 deuce. Everybody misses. I think AG3 is going to bet small here, maybe like 60. No, really small. Only 25. And Chubbs has plans. There was $150 into the pot, and AG3 only bet 25, so Chubbs is going to try to take this pot away from him. It's not going to work, though. Did not get the proper run out. Chubbs is very confused here, as AG3 only betted $25 into the pot, and he's gonna raise here. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, there's the immediate call.
And you were just like, no.
So AG3 playing the hand very slow. Chubbs showing his 9-8, and AG3 trying to figure out if he did indeed win the pot, and yes, he did. But Chubbs, AG3 playing the hand very slow, very passive. Chubbs interpreted that to being weak or not being super strong, and that's why he put in the bet, put in the raise there on the flop. And in general, not the case here, but in general, a check raise on the river is never a bluff. And Chubbs doing the check raise on the river. 1 out of 10 times it is a bluff. And he's going to put on the double straddle. So double straddle. El Gallo raising it immediately with the AC Deucey. Nick with the suited connectors. Jack 7 of diamonds. Looks like he's interested.
Okay, who's in for PLO Monday?
7-6 for Bob. Makes the call. I don't know what Chubbs has, but he's going to be calling for sure. He might be raising. There's the call. He has Jack 6 offsuit. He actually has New York Bob dominated somehow. Ace deuce for El Gallo in front. New York Bob checking dark. And we have King 10-4, the King of Hearts, also known as the Suicide King. I think El Gallo's going to bet small here, maybe like 25. No, he's betting big, the opposite. 65, so about a 2/3 size bet pot, and nobody has anything to call him.
Who's that, Juan?
High hands are back. Sundays and Mondays here at the Texas Card House. Doors open at 9 a.m. Qualifying starts at 10 a.m. 3 different qualifying periods. $100 rollover every hour. There is a morning high hand, afternoon high hand, and a late night high hand. Aces full of 10s to qualify. Both code cards must play.
That's fucking fun. Alright, whatever you want to talk.
So it was Monday night. Teddy shows up at like 11 o'clock.
Sevens for El Gallo. Makes the call. It is $6 to go. Fred with the raise. 30 with the 10s.
Hey, here's to a pretty good last couple hours. Been fun.
Salud. Hold on. Let me check my card. Fire, I still have the one from last.
City Star with the ace queen makes the call against Fred's 10s. Pretty sure El Gallo is also calling with the 7s. Chubbs with the King 9 suited is in, and like I said, I'm pretty sure El Gallo will close the action. That's another big thing here. He's closing the action. Nobody can re-raise. He has the call in his hand, and we are going 4 ways to a flop. $124 in the middle. Ash Cash will burn 1 and turn 3. It is a 10 high flop, 1 over card for Fred's 10s. 2 hearts, nobody with hearts. Oh, El Gallo with a small lead. Fred with the immediate call. And I think everybody's going to call this. No. City Star folding his ace queen. Chubb's calling, backdoor draws. He's going to represent one of these cards here. He's going to nope, the heart's coming. Should go check around. Chubb's checking. He had a plan, did not get the proper card for him to execute that plan. 4 on the river. And I think it's just going to go checked all the way down. And it does. $184 pot.
Oh, we got something. Ah! Oh, he dropped it. Yeah! No!
So Nick up over $1,000. AG3 has really only played 2 hands. He's won them both. And he is up $450. City Star. $420 in his stack. Fred, who just won the last hand, is now in the positive. And York Bob straddling the button, also in the positive. The other players needing to make a comeback. Action on Pedro.
So they changed it?
That's priority. From when I was playing over, the dealers always tell me that they.
No, it's over there, but
No, we're not checking.
So this one is fine.
So normally under the gun has priority.
See, Bob?
And they are just confirming as both the under the gun player and the button player wanted to straddle, but under the gun does have priority. They were just verifying. Fred, who just won last hand, will call with the 5-3. Nick with the 9-8. He's in.
Drain the liver. As soon as the dealer has fucking straddle, under the gun put that straddle out, mine counted first. He was out here and the dealer announced straddle. Once it's announced, some more rounds here.
That makes more sense though. Not the timing. That makes more sense than the.
So Bob, New York Bob will make the fold.
Then it's just an argument.
Pedro with the 6-3.
So I don't care. Yeah, no, but that makes more sense to me. Than
And we are going 4 ways to a flop.
Shit, I didn't see. And then it's, oh, I did it first. Oh, I did it.
And it's going to come all clubs. Chubs with
The reason
clubs.
why I think that the under the gun should always have priority is because the blinds are always at a disadvantage when the button straddles.
And Chubbs is going to bet his flush draw. Nobody has anything to call him with.
yeah. But if you're going to allow it,
Yeah, no,
you
yeah,
take
for sure.
advantage of it. No, you're
Yes.
right. And if the button puts a straddle out and the dealer announces,
I don't see anybody calling here.
Short discernment over here.
to just throw it out.
Yes, and I was trying to find a way to position it.
As the button, you already have
And everybody does fold. 2-for-1 time is now on Wednesdays and Sundays between 9 in the morning and 6 p.m. Normally it is $12 an hour to play here at the Texas Card House. Well, you can get 2-for-1 time on Wednesdays and Sundays between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. every Wednesday and Sunday for the month of August.
He didn't go.
Hey, did you wipe your head? Yes, I did. Oh, yeah, I did.
So it looks like we have no straddles this hand.
Have you seen that movie, Baby Boy? Yeah, sorry. Let me smell your dick. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I haven't seen
Action will be on Fred with the ace-7.
I haven't seen Baby Boy in a long time.
Just calls.
Hey, let me sound like Kamala here. Anybody here? Anybody ever
Queen
seen that-
10 for Nick.
that movie? Last year?
I do.
And he's going to raise it to 10. 10, T-I-N 10.
I have no filter at all. Even if
City Star with the King Crab. Raising it up here. And for sure, Fred's calling. And for sure, Nick is calling. El Gallo coming along with the 6-4 diamonds. There's the call from Fred. There's the call from Nick. And we have 101 Dalmatians in the middle. And Nick, he's up over $1,000. Playing good, running good. He flops top pair here. And he's going to lead right out, betting a third pot, 35. And El Gallo will probably call.
You won the hand, right?
Exactly.
There's the call. Let's see if Fred is done with his ace-7 of hearts.
Is that what you're saying?
Does some backdoor possibilities,
Mr. Chip Greens.
but he does make the fold. So El Gallo looking for a 6 or a 4 to take the lead. You can see his outs on the top. He does turn a straight draw.
Don't ring them up. Say it from Nick. Same thing, no?
So he does check his pair and straight draw. Nick looks like he's going to bet, and it is small. It is 15.
Wow. Is that enticing or you want me to check? All right, well, I gotta check raising.
I knew you were. I knew you were.
If you go on that apple.
And El Gallo perceives it as weakness. He's going to raise him, but Nick makes the immediate call. So anything a deuce through a 7.
If it's red, I gotta go all in, bro.
Not much left in the Gallo stack. That's not enough for Nick to fold top pair here.
If you want to win, fold. If you don't want to make shots, fold.
6.5 is the favorite.
The juice on 6.5 over?
Minus 125.
So does El Gallo go for it? He doesn't have enough chips for a bluff to work here.
I'm not worried about it.
He doesn't have enough chips for a bluff to work. He does beat a missed flush draw, but there's no reason to bet because he does have a pair. So there's no reason to bet against a missed flush draw. And he only has $163 in the $401 pot. So a bluff is not working.
Don't start with a flexion.
You don't want to do it?
He does check. He realizes
Because you either have it all.
that he doesn't have enough chips to get Nick to fold. Nick, who's been going for thin value a lot,
Go all in and get snapped by a paired board.
December 7th, 1941 or 1942?
Just ready.
So how much will you cost?
and it looks like Nick's gonna go for the thin value again. Bet in half of his stack. Oh, and he gets the call. So the third time tonight, Nick goes for thin value, and he finally gets a customer.
Service or not?
Yes.
I was asking.
Wait.
December 7th, 1941. December 7th,
Doesn't matter. Well, down here right now.
1942.
Got about half an hour to go into ninth green as the rich get richer. Nick was the only player winning over 1,000 tonight, and he's going to win that $500 pot,
Oh yeah.
$550 pot.
Whatever you want, bro. We're taking it. Whatever you want. No, for real.
I think the key. Orange tea or what?
Wait.
Looks like we have a $6 button straddle, so action will be on El Gallo, who just lost the last pot. It's showing actions on Nick, but I do see $1 on the button.
It was 6, but Tony acted so.
Mr. City Water. You do. I agree. What is it, City Water?
Yeah, 6 on the button is announced.
I'm gonna. When this shit's over, so play, man.
He's gonna reload. He's gonna reload.
So El Gallo, not at the table.
Hey, the shots.
He is going to add on to his stack.
He checked and they put 75.
Hello.
New York Bob likes to play these suited connectors. As a matter of fact, I think 5-3 is his favorite hand, and he's going to raise with the 5-3. Pedro with the immediate call. Chubbs straddled to 6 and doesn't want to leave his boys out there. He's going to make the call. And looks like everybody's calling with the exception of City Star.
Hey, are you gonna bet this done last game or not?
$182. Just like that, we have a $182 pot as we are going 5 ways. And Pedro hitting his king right away. How much does Pedro have in his stack? Pedro has 65 in his stack, so Pedro's going all in once it's checked to him. I thought he had a little more than 65. Let's see if those graphics are right. New York Bob did hit a 3. Let's see if he continues on here. Yeah, Pedro has more than 65. As he has, looks like 145 is my guess. 155. I was off by 2 chips. New York Bob's going to have to call since he bet $100. It's only 55 for him to call. Needing a 5 or a 3. And I think they're going to go twice. No, once. Go on once. One time. You can only get lucky once. And Bob is not going to get lucky. King, Queen of Pedro will be winning this $492 pot. That was last month, I believe. Yeah, that was last month, but this is this month's. I think it's the same structure. It's 150 to enter, deep stack Saturdays. Starts at 6 p.m. 50K start and stack. High hands, Sundays and Mondays. $100 rollover. So the unique thing about that is even if a game is not running, they add to the pot. It is aces full of tens to qualify. Also, another unique thing is every qualifying period has an individual rollover. So if you show up in the mornings to play and nobody hits a high hand that morning, then when you come back the following day, that pot's going to build just for the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then same deal in the afternoon, same deal late at night. So really catering to all the different types of players. We do realize that people do have different schedules, and sometimes they can play in the morning, sometimes they can play at night, and essentially they have their individual jackpots. So El Gallo just going to go all in here with his ace-10 suited. Fred has a pocket pair, and I don't think he can call with everybody behind him. But I don't think that's going to stop him. So if he's last to act here, I like this call. But you can see there's all these players left behind him to still act. So Nick wants to play this hand. He's been running good tonight, but I will say the same thing I just said about Fred. I don't think he can call with all these players left to act behind him. Oh, Goose is calling with the queen-8 of spades. City Star makes the quick fold, and Chubbs might just back raise here to try to get heads up. No, he's just calling. He's just calling. What does New York Bob have? New York Bob has Jack-9 offsuit. So this is going to be a $400 pot.
Well, 69 bucks.
34 and a half.
I'm going to win this pot. Am I actually going to win this pot?
No, $350 pot. I thought he was all in for 87. He's all in for 69. So this is why I don't like the call from Fred, just because there were so many players behind him. And you can see those players have outdrawn him as Goose flops an open-ended straight draw with a flush draw. Bob flopping top pair. And this is an empty side pot. Bob's still going to bet here just because there's so many overcards that can come. And he's going to bet about 140. 35. Getting better. I was off by 2 chips last time. Now I'm just off by 1 chip. I feel like Goose is going to call. He's open-ended with a backdoor flush draw. The 135. And also, if he calls here, I'll probably just go check, check. So he's counting out how much this call is going to cost him, how much is going to be left in his stack. And there's the call. El Gallo needed an ace, as a 10 will be no good for him. An 8 also works for him for a straight. Board pairing, and Goose bluffing here. Wow, this is very interesting. As Goose is bluffing, and if this bluff works, El Gallo will have the best hand. So New York Bob with the best hand here, and Goose might bluff him out as the board paired.
Dude, so don't ever buy shots for a girl because she passes out. So if I buy you too much, you might not be able to play anymore, bro. I gotta keep you engaged just enough, bro. Just enough.
So New York Bob knows this bet does not make sense, but it's going to be for most of his chips. 340. And like I said, it just doesn't make any sense to him. So an 8, a 10, an ace or a queen, 8, 10, ace or queen, and New York Bob is going to scoop this $1,300 pot with Jack 9 off suit. El Gallo going to run to the ATM, reload, and that's also going to felt Goose here. Not sure if Goose is going to rebuy. But the play from Goose really did not make a lot of sense. And there was way too much money in the pot for New York Bob to fold. He does make the call, gets rewarded.
Who got home run?
So high hand, Sundays and Mondays. 2 for 1 time, Sundays and Wednesdays. Deep Stack Tournament, Saturdays. PLO Poker Pyramid every day. 500 an ounce for El Gallo as he will be rebuying the ribeye. Uh-oh. Ashley dealing in the button first, but she did catch it.
That was too quick.
So I would say we probably have about another 20, possibly 30 minutes to go on tonight's stream. We do thank everybody for joining us tonight. This is the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. We are one of 6 Texas Card House locations across the state of Texas. One of 4 locations streaming on YouTube. Oh, City Star away from his hand. He had kings.
Oh, wow. You get a phone?
So Goose not in his seat. I don't know if he's rebuying. New York Bob with the pocket 10s. Pedro calling with the queen 10 offsuit. Chubbs away from his seat. Was this a straddle or? Yeah. So Fred straddle for $8, I believe.
Girls, table 9.
And Fred makes the call.
I want all whites or the server.
So New York Bob needed to avoid a queen or a jack.
I want 5 racks of fucking 6.
And Goose is rebuying.
I'm gonna bet him like that too. One at a time.
Great flop for the 10s. As Fred has a gut shot straight draw, needs a 6 for a straight. His jack is also live. And there's the jack. So Bob really has no reason to worry about the jack. But Fred actually has the jack, and he's going to slow it down here. So Fred not only hitting his jack, but also hitting his 6. And he's going to put out a tiny bet. And New York Bob will immediately call. So second time we see a player get there twice.
If we're off screen, fine, but I got a 500. I don't care.
Yeah, very, I just get it
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm ready to get off that shit.
So both El Gallo and Goose. So we have a rooster and a goose. El Gallo, Spanish for rooster. They're both rebuying for 500.
I ain't scared. The longer I play with you guys, the better I get.
Yeah, Green's over there, partner. There's the back of your red.
You know, there's a such thing as sample hands, which is people with profiles and shit. I'm an old school guy, bro. I just don't play it out there.
I got you.
That's why I'm saying that we have to
City Star not at his seat, but is oh no, he's under the gun
you gotta play hands, man.
as Goose is back.
Learned my lessons. They've been expensive lessons, but I've learned them, baby.
Somebody say
So Pedro taking the Jack 5, raising it to 27, the 999. El Gallo with the suited ace. He will also call Nick with the 7s.
265,000. 1973.
So Pedro with hearts, but El Gallo with the better hearts.
It's okay, right?
And a big flop for El Gallo as he will flop top 2. But Pedro, who really hasn't gotten out of line, picking the wrong time to get out of line, as he raised pre-flop and is now betting the flop.
Bob, you don't like that shot.
The white tea that we were taking had vodka.
Yeah, but what else?
And peach tabs and sweet and sour. You're gonna like it.
You're gonna Bob, you'll love it. I promise you. You'll love it.
So Pedro should be done with this hand. Kind of feeling bad the first time he gets out of line that he gets caught. Sometimes that's how it goes. Has pretty much played pretty snug tonight. Gets out of line with the Jack 5 of hearts, runs into it. But he does minimize his losses.
Just got traded to. I got for a free rent for the year.
The aggressive frequency.
This is in Vegas.
It's a market. Oh, it's a market.
Ace 8 of hearts. I respect
No straddle this hand. Action on New York Bob.
Yeah, and I had an apartment. So I was like,
I respect that, bro. You read that, bro.
it was a 2-bedroom apartment on the home run. I made it a poker house. That'll be huge. I turned it into. I didn't give a fuck. 5-0 apartment there. That's like. I had 3 tables running, 2 deep, bro. I had partnered up, so my partner was a guy named Matt, and his brother was burning the outfielder for the
So the
On the bottle, please.
Queen 9 of clubs will come in for a raise here, and Nick will make the call.
The guy ran into money, right? So I was like,
Alexis, put them in.
Ace Queen for Goose should be sizing this up to maybe 150, at least 100, but there's a raise and some calls in between, so 200 is too much. 150.
Oh, get out!
150 was the right size.
Twice did I call it 2-run bomb. Wait, he's called it twice.
These guys really enjoying the baseball game tonight. Have you seen my baseball?
Discretion is the better part of
yeah,
that.
let it go like it was.
That's still good, though.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, the size is just too big. I thought the max would be 150, but then again, I'm not sitting there at the table. I don't know the dynamics here. So, like I said, I think this is too large of a size, and I think 150 might have got called. I understand why he's sizing up. He's out of position. He does have a caller in between. And yes, it is too big of a sizing.
Hey, Dad. I'll tell you my hand.
Gilbert, Dad.
And yeah, it is too big of a size, and he's still going to get the win. Flashing the ace of spades.
Why you raise so much?
You showed that that's not
Graduated college.
That's a great race with a small blind, I guess.
Don't forget you.
It's like a respect for my race.
thought we were playing small black.
That's like a respect for my, that's like a respect for my fucking race there, huh?
All right, so up to 97 viewers here on YouTube. We are streaming on a lot of different platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I only have access to the YouTube chat.
No, he waited till he won a big
I was up first, right?
Yeah, he did. When everybody got.
Hey Bob, so you gotta give this, you gotta give the cheers to this.
Okay, yeah. I was up
No,
first.
when
Bob, give him some words, Bob.
Bob, you gotta give us words.
Yes,
Some
Bob,
wise
yes.
words.
Yeah, Bob.
Fuck you all.
King 10 of diamonds
Perfect.
for Nick.
I couldn't agree anymore.
Bro, yeah.
Is it a straddle or is it a raise?
Right there.
I could not agree anymore.
Looks like Nick will raise it to 25.
Introduce me to the color coffee. I'm introducing you to the white teas. Delicious, right, Bob?
Very good.
They're vodka. It's amazing.
Immediate call from Goose, who does have the better king. This is a double straddle.
You go ask for a regular restaurant, they probably won't know what the
Bro, they don't even know what it is. They won't know how to make it.
straight up.
And Chubb's calling with the queen 4. It was only $13 more, but he's in bad shape. What? What?
No, my buddy from like the races, not the races.
So Nick with the continuation bet, immediate call from Goose, and Chubb's going to be raising it up. I'm not sure about this raise. You're targeting another 4?
Well, he doesn't drink.
Don't quite understand this raise from Chubbs.
I mean, if you ask the drinker, yeah, maybe.
He's going to get a call. Goose does not want to hit a king. A queen and they chop. Nick folded a king. And everybody at the table getting quiet, realizing that there's a big hand about to go down. Chubbs representing the 4. Does Goose believe him? Did not believe him on the flop. And he's getting a good price here on the turn. So Goose just have the queen, but obviously the 4 hasn't beat. Oh, he goes all in, and Chubb snap calls him. So Chubb's definitely knowing his customer here, as I thought that the line was a little strange that he took. But he thought Goose would fall for it, and Goose does just that. So it was a restraddle from Chubbs for $12. Nick making it 25 with the king 10 of diamonds. Goose calling with the king queen. And the flop comes out queen 4-4. Chubbs flops a full house and check raises. He check raises. He didn't think Goose would believe him if he had a 4, or he didn't think one of the players, Nick or Goose, would fold a queen, and he was correct, as Goose did not fold his queen and went all in on the turn.
Hey, you're coming back?
Bullshit. He's all in pre-flop.
Bro, he had nothing. Nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was one of those where he called and it was like, I just got the money, I don't give a shit. Yeah, and he was.
So no straddle. There's a straddle.
After that game, I
Have a
decided,
look.
like, I
Can I do
never
it
want to be in
12?
that situation.
Can I do it to him?
I never want to be where I'm depending on them.
So pocket deuces for El Gallo.
So I just do it to him.
He will make it 12 with the deuces.
When I was living in Vegas, I was playing 10, 20, no limit. Yeah.
Nick had king 10 last 10, did not work out for him. Has the king 10 again. AG3 with the queen jack, and City Star
The swings were just
bumping it up to 40.
too big. Swings were crazy.
I think the size is just too small to get anybody to fold, and Chubbs is going to put out the 3-bet here. Actually, a 4-bet because it was a $12 raise.
He just pulls another 30 out of his pocket.
This is 170.
You kept the daily, they had their daily events, but
it was cool because they played with some pretty cool guys.
So City Star making a move, and it turns out that his sizing is going to save him money, as Chubbs had a big hand to put out the 4-bet.
you'll have people that sit down with like suits and they're waiting for dinner.
Both of them sit in chairs against that wall. They were like as wide as their walls. Big dudes.
No, they're not even chasing, they're just bad
He had diamond earrings like
the
this.
best time is like when they
Let's see if we have a straddle on, as we have about another 4 hands left on tonight's stream. I thought we would get in at least 100 hands tonight, since we did start short-handed. We started 6-handed, and the players were seeing a lot of hands, but then we filled up the table, and things slowed down a bit. So we're not going to get the 100 hands. Like I said, normally at the beginning of the stream, the over-under is 90, and take the unders.
They pay more in taxes a week than what's on this table.
Oh, yeah. Nah, I had to price it because I knew. No, but I'm saying it was a key, bro. Yeah. Like you're confident with your post off play, so I have to make it a lot. Huh? Yeah. No, but I'm saying if I make it like, if
Make me do it.
I make it like 120, like
I want to see if you
call.
know me.
And you'll sell it out, maybe.
Put it more.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I have to price it up for you.
So heads up we go, 7-4, 9-10.
I have a proposition.
Oh, now you make me full.
Not really.
Burn is down.
Side B meeting.
I like what I have in my hand before that shit.
El Gallo hit in a 4. He bet dark. So this is kind of crazy. He bet $50 dark. He hits a pair. Nick does not have a pair, but is curious. Curiosity killed the cat.
Would you have? And I think I was like, I hope tomorrow gets better. You're no good. Either or.
81.
How are you betting before that? You can read these cards.
And El Gallo is betting dark again. He announced 81 in the dark. So Nick is going to have to be done with this hand now. I could see the curiosity call before, and he is running good tonight, but now it's just too much.
Want to see one?
No.
You're a pair?
No, I didn't.
I have a pair.
You're good. Maybe back when I lost him. No, that was
Because I'm not.
No, that was really good.
But I had to keep telling the story, you know.
And where did everybody go?
You know where you fucked up in the story? What? Did I start?
So Nick still up 1,000. York Bob
Honestly,
up 400, almost 500. AG3s
right there.
has been involved in 2 hands and has won them both. Pedro in the green. Chubbs is finally in the green after winning that huge pot. City Star also in the green, and Fred in the green. So El Gallo down about 500. We also have Goose, who is not at the table. He's down about 1,000. We have Ruben Hinojosa, who also lost the buy-in. So that's why the numbers don't add up, because it's not showing the players that have busted earlier. Fred with the 7s races to 7. We saw a Goose do the clear with the 6s, raising it to 6. And Pedro calling with the suited 10, 10-5 of diamonds. El Gallo with the ace makes the call.
They used to tell me, don't even come home. Now they say, I'm gonna take a fucking lift. How about that face right now, bro? I'm there right now.
And
Outside.
Pedro's going to hit his 10. And Pedro's going to bet his 10. Bets $20 into 22. Fred with the pocket pair. Doesn't want to give up just yet, as only the 10 beats him, but Pedro has it. And Fred checking dark. So the previous hand we had El Gallo betting dark. Now Fred is checking dark. And I'm not sure if... No, it's going to go check.
I had open at Jack 9, it was 967.
All right, so what is this? VPIP, the VPIP. Fred, New York Bob, Nick, and Chubbs all in at over 50%. Goose is back. AG3 on the bottom end, but he's still over 20%. All right, so 2 more hands to go. Make sure if you still haven't subscribed to this channel, you take care of that. This is the secondary channel. The main channel, TCH Live, all one word. This is the secondary channel, Texas Card House, 3 different words. As I said, we do stream on 2 different channels. The 2-5 game that we play on Friday night here is streamed on TCH Live. Any final table tournaments get streamed on TCH Live. But this is a secondary channel, as I believe it's the Card House in Houston is streaming on the main channel right now. There's 2 locations in Houston, one right by the Galleria in Houston, southwest side, TCH Houston. There's one on the north side in the city of Spring. There's 2 Texas Card Houses in the Dallas area, one of them in the city of Dallas right off of 635 on the north side, and then one in the city of Irvin. Those are the 2 locations that are going to be hosting the Poker Atlas Tour at the end of the month. And then the original location, Texas Card House in Austin, which is actually in the process of moving right now. All spades, nobody with a spade. And the king is going to get hit. So Chubbs will win with the king, but Goose is going to bluff.
Hey, he's one of those, he's like, oh, you want to check it out? And he hits you like,
No, I've never.
This might work. Nobody has a spade.
You have a flush.
And it's going to work. He's going to show the 9 high. He's showing the 9 high. Boom. Showing the bluff.
You see?
Wow.
Okay, so this is the last hand, hand number 80, 80.
We didn't know if he had cards or not.
And there will be a button straddle.
2-run bomb.
No,
Stop.
don't.
El Gallo put in on the $10 straddle. These players are going to continue to play after the stream, which is normally the case on Friday nights, sometimes the case on Wednesdays. But I'm sure you can see the drinks flowing, everybody having a good time tonight here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. And the action's going to be on Fred, the fisherman. Fred with the ace-4. Should be folding, but he will make the call.
Hey, Goose, yes or not, the overs look, it looks bad. Like, they want you to take the unders. Oh, yeah.
Queen, Jack of spades for Goose, just makes the call. City Star with the fold. And King Jack for El Gallo. He's going to raise it up 50 straight. Everybody's going to call. Oh, Fred does fold. But Nick calling with the suited connectors. Goose also calling with the suited connectors. El Gallo actually has the best hand right now. He got the ace to fold. And Nick is going to flop open-ended. Goose is also going to flop open-ended. And your pre-flop raiser, El Gallo, flops a gut shot. Oh, and the Cajun Asian is coming into deal. But keep in mind, this is the last hand. So the Cajun Asian playing the stream earlier. But he's going to push it. He's going to push Cash Ash here. This is the last hand of the stream. And looks like a good one. Looks like a good one here. As we have 2 players flopping open-ended. The king high still good. A queen for fun. A queen will give Nick a straight and give El Gallo a straight. There's the queen. So El Gallo with the nut straight and Nick with the sucker straight. Oh no, I'm sorry. Nick needed a jack. Nick needed a jack for a straight. I'm sorry about that. It is Goose who hits a pair, but that pair is no longer good. So two players had open-ended, and it is the player with the gut shot that hits his straight. I do apologize. I thought the queen made the straight for Nick as well.
You're still mad?
Very small bet from Goose.
You're still mad? You already had the shot?
There are two diamonds on the board. El Gallo does have a diamond in his hand, but he's going to raise here. So now Nick is done with the hand. And what does Goose do? He has a pair and open-ended, but he only has $300 behind, as it is 160 more for him to call. He did hit top pair, and that's going to be enough for him to continue along with his straight draw. So he needs a king to chop. Anything else he loses. He cannot win this pot outright. He can only chop. He has $143 left in his stack. And is he going to be able to fold to the all-in here, as he should be checking? And El Gallo should be putting him all in. He only has $143 left. He might feel pot committed.
That's 4 hours over here when I started.
Hey, I don't need time, right?
I only got 4 hours.
No, whoa.
He does check. And here's the all-in from El Gallo. And does he feel pot committed? You can see the pot's $800, $883, and it's $143 for him to call. Obviously, he's getting huge pot odds.
No, because they made them by the time, the 4 hours before the stream started.
Yeah. The stream didn't start till 6:25. 6:30.
Let's see if he can get away from it. This is his third buy-in. And no, he's not going to be able to get away from it. And he will be shown the best hand possible, the Stone Cold Nuts. And that $1,000 pot will put a wrap on tonight's stream. Once again, thank you for joining us. If you still have not subscribed to this secondary channel, Texas Card House, make sure you do take care of that. Our next stream will be on Friday